And hello, and thank you for joining us once again on mylocalradio.com and KADQ 98.3 today out of Evanston and the Bridger Valley. We are bringing you a 2A championship football game, which will hopefully be, as it is on paper, it looks to be on paper, an instant classic, as the Mountain View Buffalo and the Buffalo Bison are going to play for that 2A crown. Once again, if you're just joining us this season, maybe you haven't kept up, Buffalo is in 2A for the first time this season, as they dropped from Class 3A here in Wyoming to play football in the 2A classification here, and they have pretty much run through the conference as it stands here this season. They have not lost to a 2A opponent. I believe, if without checking, their only loss was to Torrington earlier this season. So as it stands right now, both Mountain View and Buffalo have not lost to any 2A opponent this year. Once again, Mountain View lost to Cokeville in the opening week of the season. They were able to rebound at the end of the season, however, and defeat Grable to get that division crown out of the West. Buffalo, your champions out of the East. So it's only fitting that two of the top teams in the entire conference, the top two teams in the entire conference, the entire classification, will meet for the championship here at War Memorial Stadium. We're just about ready to kick here. Mountain View did win the toss. They will defer. So Mountain View is going to kick right to left on your dial, wearing all white and purple. Purple on the helmets, all white jerseys and pants. Buffalo in a straight blackout. Black uniforms, black pants, black sneakers, cleats, and black helmets. They will be playing going left to right. Buffalo, the Bison, will be getting the ball first, going left to right, as Tienka Pacola will line up here. He's going to trot backwards, take his warm-up swings, and he is ready to go as the ball is placed on the 40-yard line. And we are ready to go here on KADQ 98.3 and mylocalradio.com. The kick is off, and the 2A state championship game is on. Returned here from Buffalo, picked up at the 15-yard line. They're going to cut towards the middle of the field. Breaks a tackle at the 25, scoots past the 35-yard line, and that's where Buffalo will start after a gang tackle on that one. I believe that was Anthony Peters, or actually Mason Moon, Mason Moon, the junior, on the return there for the Buffalo Bison. So as it stands right now, Mountain View will go on defense, and their defense has had no problems so far stopping that Buffalo, they have had no problems as of right now stopping that potent rushing offense. And the first play is going to be a run to the right side, and that will be a gain of about 3 yards on first down. And that will give Buffalo about a 2nd and 7 here. And it's about 2nd and 8 for the Buffalo Bison. Back to pass, though, and it's to the left side, and that's going to be a gain of about 5 yards there on 2nd down before he is wrapped up immediately and thrown back by Mountain View, and that will be a 3rd down here. So as it stands right now, first possession of the game, 3rd play here, Buffalo will line up back to pass. In the shotgun formation, quarterback runs up to the line, shouts out instructions. That's Aaron Thiel, or Dawson Hatch, Dawson Hatch. Luke Glassick in the backfield, and there is maybe a penalty on the field? And a false start is called. So a false start. Once again, Luke Glassick, the senior quarterback for Buffalo, had to run up to the line of scrimmage, maybe saw something he didn't like in how Mountain View was lined up. And because of that, I think his offensive line or maybe a wide receiver jumped off sides or jumped for a false start thinking that the play was about to start. So back it up 5 yards, and it will be about a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 here. So Mountain View hoping to stop Buffalo and get off the field. Glassic's going to try to escape pressure. He's not going to do it, though, and he's going to be sacked for a loss of about 4 or 5 yards. I believe that was Colby Reese in for the sack there amongst some other Mountain View defenders, and the Mountain View Buffalo will get off the field on defense and put their offense out on the field. So Buffalo not able to get anything going as it stands right now. So they will punt away. Punt is about to the 33-yard line. Caught a fair catch there from Mountain View. A good thing because there were about five Bison defenders ready to absolutely run over the return man there. So he fair caught it, and that's where the ball will start. The possession will start here for Mountain View. The ball is at the 33-yard line, and Mountain View will go out on their first offensive possession. And you are not seeing things or hearing things. It is Kimball Madsen to get the start. Usually it's Braden Walk for the first snap, but today they are switching some things up. Kimball Madsen gets the first snap. He'll go out of shotgun. And the first snap, he's going to be a quarterback read. He's going to take it himself. He's going to run up the hash mark, the left hash, and he's going to gain 11 on first down and get another first down for Mountain View. So Buffalo cannot pick up a first down on their first series, and Mountain View picks up a first down on the first play of this game on offense. 9:25 on the clock and counting down in the first quarter. The first possession here on offense for Mountain View. And Madsen's in the shotgun. Direct snap goes up the middle and trying to cut back to the right side. That's Brigham Blumel, and Brigham Blumel is going to gain about 4 yards there. We'll call it 5, actually. So a 5-yard gain on first down there for Brigham Blumel. And that will bring up 2nd and 5. Once again, if you are listening on the radio, we appreciate that. If you get home and you don't want to sit in your car or you don't have a radio laying around, we're also on mylocalradio.com. This snap taken, it's going to be a run up the middle, and he plows through defenders, and that's a gain of about 20 yards on second down there, and that will get another first down. Kimball Madsen with the carry. He goes for about 20 there, and that will be a big first down. Excuse me, that was a handoff to Brigham Blumel. Brigham Blumel actually broke through the middle there and gained about 20 yards there. Ball now sits at the Buffalo 33-yard line. So just like that, in a span of 3 plays, Mountain View has moved the ball down the field. Now they are in enemy territory. Back to pass. Actually, going to be a handoff to Blumel again. He's going to try to run up the left hash mark. He's not going to get there. And that's going to be a stop for no gain on the play. Maybe a loss of half a yard, but as it stands, it will be 2nd and 10 here for the Buffalo. Trying to crack the code of this Bison defense. So far, it's worked out pretty well for head coach Brent Walk and his team, as through 3 plays they have moved the ball into Bison territory. In the shotgun formation goes Madsen. He's going to actually drop back to pass this one. He's going to look to the left side, and it's going to be incomplete off the hands of Walk. A diving defender there from Buffalo. That was number 8, Rowan Ruby. Rowan Ruby, a running back and defensive back in this one. The 5'9 junior made a dive for it as it went off the hands of Walk. Could not get to it in time, however, and the ball hits the turf, and it is 3rd down. The wind is swirling on the field. I was there on kickoff. It is very, very frigid on the field. It really does feel like there is about a 20-mile-per-hour gust, at least on the field when you're standing in midfield. Madsen back to pass, throws it across the middle of the field. Too tall for his wide receiver. Well out of reach there, and that will force a 4th down, a 4th and 10. I did talk to Tiancum Picola before the game started, and he told me that he could hit from 50 yards. This is exactly a 50-yard field goal. I talked to Brent Walk, and he said that's more of a we'll see situation, but it doesn't look like Tiancum Picola is going to trot out on the field here. They're going to leave the offense on. Not really a situation to punt here from the Bison 33-yard line, so they'll just try to pass it here and get the first down. Actually, no, it's going to be a pooch punt. So Didn't want to bring out the punt unit there, and that one actually is going to take a huge Mountain View roll, and that one's going to land at the 3-yard line. So the pooch punt works from Kimball Madsen. He can do it all. He can punt, he can throw, he can catch, and he can certainly run. That one's down at the 3-yard line. That's where the Bison will start here on the second drive on offense for them. And Mountain View, that defense with the Bison huddling up in the end zone, will try to make a play here and either get the ball in tremendous field position or get the ball into the end zone on a defensive score. In the I formation, that's going to be a handoff to the right side and stopped immediately right there. And that's going to be about a gain of maybe 1 yard on first down. So nothing going right for the Bison so far in their 4 offensive plays. They've actually lost a total of 2 yards because they did get a sack on third down last possession. And this one's going to be a pitch to the right side, trying to get around the edge, cannot get there. It's going to be a gain of about 2 yards on second down. That would bring up a 3rd and long here for the Bison, touching their own end zone. Let's see how conservative the call is here for head coach Rob Hammond and the Buffalo Bison. I'll be interested to see what the Mountain View defense does here. Do they bring pressure and try to get back to the quarterback? They did get a sack on third down in the last possession, so let's see if they can force some pressure, maybe an errant throw, or let's see if the Bison have to run the ball in this play. In the I formation, it's going to be a fake handoff and a give to the left side, trying to get around the corner, and he does. He's down to the 20, the 30, the 40, the 50. He's got a lot of green grass in front of him. 40, 30, 25, 20, and he's brought down by the Mountain View Buffalo, but not before a huge gain there on a 3rd and 8. Nearly goes the distance there. 64-yard rush. What a play there from the Mountain View, from the Buffalo Bison running game. Little fake handoff, and the wide receiver coming around from the outside. Cody Milmine goes 64 yards, finds the edge, and just a poor containment effort there from Mountain View on 3rd and 7. They had one guy out wide guarding a wide receiver, a defensive back, and the defensive back crept in on the initial handoff attempt, and unfortunately for the Buffalo defense, it turned out that he did not get the ball, and Milmine did around the corner, the 5'9" senior, and once he found that edge, he ran straight down the sideline for 64 yards. Looked like he had a score in front of him, but a good recovery from the Mountain View defense to tackle him in time. Back to pass to the right side, and it's nearly picked off, and it is! Across the middle, it's intercepted. I believe that's Madsen with the ball. He's going to try to cut to the right sideline. He's going to be pushed out of bounds, and the Mountain View Buffalo have taken over. The interception there comes from Ashton Schofield. Ashton Schofield, after what it looked like a Mountain View player tipped it. Yes, a Mountain View player tipped it, undercutting the route, and Schofield, who was behind the wide receiver, saw the ball go right into his hands, and he ran parallel across the 15-yard line, gets pushed out at the 17. So after a 64-yard rush on a 3rd down, the Bison give it right back. Fortunately for them, it is in Mountain View territory, so they don't have to worry about bad field position to start here for Mountain View, but certainly a deflating start for that Buffalo offense. First down's going to be a run up the middle, and that's going to be a gain of about 4 yards on first down. That will set up 2nd and manageable here. As Ashton Schofield, maybe a little bit of a limp as the scoreboard shows a close-up of him, made the big play, and he's back out on the offensive side of the ball here. Snap taken by Madsen. He's going to keep it to the right side, looking to get around the corner. He does. Gets it up the hash mark, and he'll be marked down at the 32-yard line, but there is a flag on the far side of the field. We'll have to wait and see what this flag is, and it is a holding. I believe the call was a holding on Mountain View. So that'll back that up, and the first down run is taken off the board, and Mountain View will... Yeah, it is a holding on Mountain View. So no field mic, so we don't know exactly which player, but assume either one of those outside linemen on the right side or maybe a wide receiver, just because it was thrown on that side of the field, so that usually is an indication on where that penalty most likely occurred. So as it stands, they'll back it up 10 yards, 2nd and 15. Pitch to the left side and trying to cut it up the hash marks. Unsuccessfully there is Mountain View, and that'll be a gain of about 3 yards there. So set up a 3rd and 12 here for the Mountain View Buffalo. We'll have to see what they pull out of their bag of tricks here, and if they try to do something fancy, maybe a little bit of trickeration as the Buffalo Bison did on their last offensive possession of the game. Buffalo looking over towards their sideline. Mountain View doing the same. In the shotgun formation, Madsen takes it, looking to pass. He's going to throw it up the right sideline, one-on-one coverage, and it's underthrown and nearly intercepted there. A great defensive play from Buffalo. Nearly came up with a one-handed snag. If that ball was in front of the wide receiver, he would have been gone. Looked like he had a lot of room, and his defender was beat. But unfortunately for Madsen, the ball was underthrown by about a yard, and that let the defensive back, that was Dawson Hatch, knock it away. Dawson Hatch also plays a little bit of quarterback. Not sure if we'll see him today at quarterback, but he is listed as a quarterback as well as a defensive back. That punt is off, and that gets to the 50-yard line. We'll take a Mountain View bounce. They're going to let it roll, and that one will land at the 32-yard line. So probably a mistake there from Buffalo to let that one bounce. Looked like the ball hit just inside of the 50-yard line. The return man let it hit the ground, usually a cardinal sin. If you are a return man, cost him about 18 yards on that one as the ball rolls to about the 32-yard line. So that's where Buffalo will take over. Buffalo has had one huge offensive play, 64-yard rush, but other than that, it has been silence for this Buffalo offense so far. This will be a fake handoff, run to the right side, and it will be a gain. Be no gain on first down as he is tackled at the line of scrimmage there from Mountain View. No gain on the play, and it will be 2nd and 10 here. I think I said that was a 64-yard rush. After further calculations, I think it was actually 74 yards. Because he was at the 6 and he ran it to about the 20. So, pardon my math error. It's going to be a handoff, a pitch to the left side, trying to get around the corner. He's got a blocker in front of him, and he goes right by the blocker, and he is gone. 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, and he's in. Touchdown, Buffalo. Buffalo with a pitch to the left side. He had a lead blocker in front of him, and he wasted no time getting into the end zone. Mountain View unable to trip him up before he got into the end zone. And the rush there, Rowan Ruby goes the distance on this one. A huge rush there. As I believe that one was 67 yards, about 66, 67 yards to the house. So Buffalo, that running offense, they've had two big plays over 60 yards so far. So working out well for the Bison so far. The extra point is up, and the extra point is good. And wait for the official signal underneath the goalpost, but they both came up and signaled good. So as it stands right now, the Buffalo Bison leading 7-0. Join us after this commercial break on mylocalradio.com and KADQ 98.3.
Your mobility affects every aspect of your life. When you suffer from an injury that decreases your mobility, or maybe you're just noticing that you're having a harder time balancing and your flexibility isn't what it used to be, call Randy Christofferson at Achieve Sports Medicine. Randy will work with you to improve your overall health by reducing pain and improving mobility. Schedule your appointment today by calling 307-747-4627. Achieve Sports Medicine in Lyman. No excuses, just results.
Welcome back once again. Thank you for joining us on mylocalradio.com and KADQ 98.3 for this coverage of the 2A Wyoming Football State Championship. I'm Sean Bennett, bringing you the call here. 3:11 to go in the first quarter. The Buffalo Bison have used two 60-plus yard runs, one of about 74 yards, and this one, his latest run, a 67-yard touchdown scamper. Buffalo lining up to kick the ball off, and this one will go into the end zone in the air, and that will be an automatic touchback. So as it stands, Mountain View lets that one go. So a fiery Brent Walk on the sideline for Mountain View. Obviously not pleased with that sideline containment from his team, as it has not gone the way the Mountain View Buffalo, I guess I have to clarify that if I say Buffalo. The Mountain View Buffalo have wanted on defense. They've been able to stop those short yard plays. It's just when they get around the corner, it's been dangerous. It's going to be a quarterback keeper. He's going to run it and cut it across the middle of the field. And that one will be stopped after a gain about 6. So a 6-yard gain on first down. Keep in mind, last possession for Mountain View, they had a first down on that second down run, but a holding penalty backed them up to 2nd and 15, really put them out of reach. So let's see if they can avoid any penalties, avoid any bad mistakes that back them up further here. Once again, if you're just joining us, Buffalo leading 7-0, a 67-yard touchdown scamper on the last play. And this one's going to be a run towards the left hash mark. He's going to bowl his way through the line and get all the way out to the 40-yard line. So a good gain there for the Mountain View Buffalo. On first down. Oh, Mountain View has the ball on their own 40-yard line here. 2:20 and counting here. This one's going to be a quarterback pitch to the right side on the option. Tosses it to Blumel, and Blumel is dragged down by the back of his jersey. And that will be a stop after about a gain of, let's see, about 3 yards there. Gets it to the Mountain View 43-yard line. Mountain View trying to get it into Bison territory for the second time in this game. The first time that happened, they had to go for it on fourth down. This is going to be a run up the middle, and a huge hole opens up there for Brigham Blumel, and Brigham Blumel blasts through the line of scrimmage there all the way to the Bison 37-yard line. So that is a first down there, a huge carry. That huge hole opened up by that offensive line of Mountain View. Pretty easy running for Brigham Blumel there, as he just really wasn't even touched when he came through the line of scrimmage. As a quarterback keeper after a fake handoff to Blumel, Madsen's going to run up the left sideline, and he's going to cut back towards the middle of the field before dancing along the sideline and getting to the 22-yard line. So another first down there, a first down on 3 consecutive plays here for Mountain View as they try to move the ball in this one. 7-0. Mountain View trailing, but moving the ball here. The ball is at the 23-yard line. Madsen takes a snap, gives it off to Blumel right up the middle. Blumel, after it looked like he was stopped at the line of scrimmage, just keeps on moving those feet, churning those legs, and he gets all the way out to the Bison 19. So a gain of 4, and it seems like Mountain View's got some of that momentum right back here after a slow start. Madsen and Blumel in the shotgun formation. You'll see that about 90% of the time here for Mountain View. They don't really mess around with a lot of different formations. It's going to be a some motion across the line of scrimmage, and it's going to go right to the wide receiver who motioned across the line of scrimmage, and that'll be a gain of about 3 yards there. Cutting across the line of scrimmage was Caleb Knutson. And it will set up a 3rd and about 2 here. So 3rd and 2 for Mountain View. Certainly in Tiancum-Pecola's field goal range. I'm not sure if Brent Walk will attempt a field goal. Maybe if it is a 4th and 2, if they don't lose any yards here, they might just go for it and think that their offense can pick up a couple yards. No problem. And this is going to be a quarterback option to the left side pitch, and back behind the line of scrimmage is where Blumel is tackled. Madsen waited a second too long to get that pitch off. He was being wrapped up, and he just kind of had to push the ball out of his hands, and by that point it hit the turf. Luckily, Blumel was able to pick it up, but he lost about 2-3 yards on that play, and that's how the first quarter will end. So an interesting decision for head coach Brent Walk and the Mountain View Buffalo here. It's 4th and 5. The ball sits at the 18-yard line, now facing the big video board. Will Tiancum-Pecola, the freshman, get his first field goal attempt in this state championship, or will Brent Walk keep the offense out there and go for it on 4th and 5? Join us on KADQ 98.3 and mylocalradio.com after this commercial break.
When you have any mechanical problems, always think of Reese Auto Service in Lyman first. Doug and the mechanics at Reese Auto Service work on everything from your lawnmower and snowblower to cars, trucks, farm and ranch equipment, and semis. You can also get tires for anything you need at Reese Auto Service. Always visit Reese first. You'll get great pricing and quality-friendly service. Reese Auto Service, 541 Highway 413, Lyman.
MyLocalRadio.com is Southwest Wyoming and Northeast Utah's top website and the best source for local area news, weather, sports, and community events. And that's not all. MyLocalRadio.com features thousands of photographs of Wyoming and Utah high school events, from speech and drama competitions to local events, sports and activities, and much more. Check it out today and see what MyLocalRadio.com has for you.
Well, it is a 4th and 5 here, and I do not see Tiancum-Pecola on the field. It is Brigham Blumel and Kimball Madsen in the backfield on a 4th and 5 from the 18-yard line. Let's see what the play call is here. Madsen trying to draw Buffalo offside. It's not going to work, and a timeout, Mountain View. So maybe that was their whole plan all along. And let's see if Tiancum-Pecola, the freshman soccer player, has never picked up a football before this season, a true soccer player. Let's see if he attempts a 35-yarder. Once again, I did talk to Tiancum-Pecola before the game. Very confident young man. He said that he thinks he can hit from about 50 yards away. He said he did hit about a 45-yarder in warm-ups. And he has hit from 50 this season, not in game, but in practice. Obviously much different when guys are storming down the line of scrimmage and coming right at you, and you have to get a perfect snap off and everything like that. But let's see what the call is now from head coach Brent Walk as he took a timeout. And Kimball Madsen and the offense come back out. So maybe just trying to draw him off, get a freebie. Not sure if Tiancum was talking to coach during that timeout or not, but as it stands, it looks like Mountain View will go for it now. They will. And immediately a flag, and that is a absolute killer for Mountain View if this is on the Bison. If this is on the Buffalo, this will be an absolute drive killer. There was a flag on the field. I don't see any indication of what that flag was. They have not moved the ball up or back either way yet. I'm not exactly sure what the flag was, but whatever it is, Tiancum-Pecola is out on the field. So, not sure exactly what happened during that timeout, that flag, but Tiancum-Pecola's kick is up. And Tiancum-Pecola has the distance for it, but misses wide left. So the effort there from Tanka Picola, he had the distance for it. A low line drive kick, but he hit it left of the upright. And the Mountain View defense will have to come back out on the field here as they turn it over. I believe it was still 4th and 5. The ball was still at the 18-yard line when he kicked. A 35-yard field goal there. Was no good. Had the distance, but went wide left. So that's where the Bison will take over. This is going to be a snap, a pitch to the right side. Looking to contain that sideline is Mountain View. They do it better than they have so far, but unfortunately for them, that is a 6-yard gain on first down. So stats have come in for the first quarter. Brigham Blumel had 59 yards rushing in that first quarter. Rowan Ruby had 73, as well as Cody Milmine. So both guys had 73 yards. Rowan Ruby on that long touchdown scamper, a 67-yard run, got most of his 73 that way. It's going to be a handoff to the right side, and cutting across the line to gain is Buffalo there, and that will be a first down as they gain about 6 yards on 2nd and 4. So the total offense in that first quarter, Buffalo 147 yards. And about 140 came on 2 separate plays, a 67 and a 73-yard rush. Back to pass, across the middle of the field, and that is caught past the line to gain, and he's still churning those legs, moving those feet, and he gets it to about the Mountain View 49-yard line. So a huge completion there on a second down. Sets up the Bison with a first down in Mountain View territory. Luke Glassick, his 3rd pass attempt of the game, his 2nd completion. He has completed all 3, just not to his team. 1 interception on those 3 passes. Glasshock back to pass again, scrambling to his right, looking to run it. He's going to cross the line of scrimmage and be pushed out of bounds there on defense for Mountain View. I believe that was Colby Reeson on the quarterback scamper. And that'll be a second down and about 6 yards here as the ball sits at the 45-yard line of Mountain View. Line to gain is the Mountain View 39. Once again, Buffalo going right to left, wearing all black. Mountain View and the whites going left to right. It's a fumbled snap as the ball kind of rolled back to the quarterback. Looked like they were going to try to hand it off to number 11, Cody Milmine, who was kind of coming across the line of scrimmage in motion. But unfortunately, the ball rolled to the quarterback, so by the time he picked it up, Milmine was nearly past him, and he could not hand it off. So a lucky play there for the Mountain View defense, as it looked like Milmine was going to try to get around the corner again. And it sets up 3rd and 8 in the I formation. Fake handoff, give to Milmine around the right side. He's going to try to get to that line of scrimmage, or that line to gain, and he does. Gets all the way around the edge and up the sideline, pushed at a play there. That's a gain of about 13 yards on 3rd and 8. So a killer there from Mountain View. As the first down for the Buffalo Bison, they keep it rolling here. And it is 7-0. The Buffalo Bison moving the ball as well. Looking good so far. Back to passes. Glasshock looking to his left. And he's going to scramble to his right, still can throw it, and now he crosses the line of scrimmage and is absolutely flattened at the line of scrimmage there by about 3 Mountain View defenders in for the tackle. In for that tackle was Ashton Schofield. I believe Knutson was in there too, the linebacker for Mountain View. So a hard hit there on Luke Glassick, who decided to scramble that one. And no gain on first down. We'll set up 2nd and 10. Back to passes. Glasshock out of the shotgun formation. Gets it complete right at the hash mark, the left hash mark. And that's going to be a gain of, let's call it 7 yards there. And that'll set up about 3rd and 3.5 here for the Buffalo Bison. So the Bison line up in the I formation again. If it is any indication on what they've been doing so far, look for Millmine to kind of come across the line of scrimmage. He's at the bottom of the screen. And now a pass, immediately a slant, but there is a flag immediately thrown on the snap there. We're probably looking at an illegal formation or something along the lines of that, because the referee was waiting with his flag drawn, and he threw it right when the snap was off, and it looks like it will be an illegal formation, so back that one up about 5 yards. We'll set up 3rd and 9 here for the Buffalo Bison. They tried to get it on that slant route. Looked like they might have had the first down too, but obviously it does not count as they were lined up improperly. And in the I formation again, 2 receivers on the top of the screen. Coming across is Millmine. He's going to fake the handoff here. It's going to be a give to the right side, and he's around the corner. 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Buffalo. Another touchdown for Buffalo on the running game, which has worked well so far. That one was a handoff to Rowan Ruby. And everyone looking at Millmine coming across the line of scrimmage to the left. And it was actually a give to Millmine, and just missing there was a Mountain View defender. I believe that was Caleb Newton, was on the outside in that contain, and he was wrapped up a little bit with the outside lineman. And by the time he made his swim move to get past him, the quick Rowan Ruby got around the corner. And the kick, the extra point is up and no good. So the extra point is no good, and there is a flag on the field, though. There is a flag on the field, and so is Brett Walk. He is out at the numbers. He is at the 20-yard line. That 20 symbol, number symbol on the court, on the field. He is not pleased with this call. I think they're going to call roughing the kicker, maybe. But he does not like that call, obviously. And that is what he was signaling. So the kick was blocked, which negates any roughing the kicker penalty. So as it stands, the extra point was blocked. They ran over the kicker, but because it was tipped, they were able to come in and make a play on the kicker. So as it stands, extra point is no good, and that's what the score will remain right now. 13-0, Buffalo leading with 8:58 to go in the first half on KADQ 98.3 and MyLocalRadio.com.
My name is Dr. Micah Pullins. I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Evanston Regional Hospital. Orthopedic surgery is the practice of medicine centered around bones and joints. It's all about movement and activity and getting that to be less painful. Watching a patient with a specific problem, whether that's pain or decreased range of motion, and being able to treat them, by far the best part of my job.
Back here on KADQ 98.3 and MyLocalRadio.com. Thank you for joining us in this 2A State Football Championship broadcast. It's been an exciting game so far. Some big plays used by that Buffalo running game. They've got some speed on the outside. Mountain View's got speed. It's just the containment has been off here in the first half for Mountain View. Something they will certainly talk about once they get into the locker room. But head coach Brett Walk hopes that it doesn't get any worse than it is right now. It's 13-0. He does not want to see his team go down more than 2 scores here, and his offense will come out looking to narrow the deficit just a bit here. First and 10 for the Mountain View Buffalo here. Ball at the 20-yard line after the touchback on the kick there. And this is going to be a keeper from Madsen. Madsen's going to run right, and he's going to be stacked up after a gain of about 3 yards there. And out to the 23-yard line is where the ball will sit. Counting down to 8:40 to go here in the half. Mountain View has got it in Buffalo territory 2 times. both times they turned it over on downs, one after a missed field goal, and the other they went for it on a 4th down closer to the 33-yard line, could not convert it. And that's a throw off the hands of the wide receiver and intercepted from Buffalo. Down to the 20, the 15, the 10, and pushed out of bounds there as the defensive back. There's a penalty on the field. It's going to be a block in the back as Braden Walk took a huge hit there. I think it might be a block in the back on the return, but Buffalo will take over in Mountain View territory as Kimball Mapson dropped back to pass, threw it left, went off the hands of, I believe, Braden Walk, and right into the receiver's hands. There is a penalty flag on the field, so let's see what that penalty is and whether it affects who has the possession here. So it is a block in the back. The block in the back after the interception, so that's where Buffalo will take over. Mark the penalty off of the spot. And let's see where the ball is listed. Looks like they're going to start here at the 33-yard line. They switch out the balls. I think Mountain View has their own football for when they're on offense. They bring their own set of balls. So they'll get a different football out on the field. They'll mark it down at the 32-yard line. So Buffalo, after an interception on the second play of that Mountain View offensive drive, is set up nicely here. Quarterback Glassock takes it, pitches it to the left, and that's going to be a gain of about 11 yards there and a first down on that first down run. Pitch on the outside once again went to Rowan Ruby. Rowan Ruby stacking up the yards so far in this game. Rowan Ruby going into this drive had 120 yards on doesn't say how many carries actually on my stat sheet. So 120 yards, however, and this is going to be a pass to the right side, trying to get around the corner, and successful is Cody Milmine. That was a quick out route to the wide receiver. He caught it, was able to scoot around the defense and get there for a first down. So the ball will sit at the 10-yard line, in Mountain View looking confused so far on defense on how to stop that outside coverage. And in the I formation, it's going to be a pitch to the left side, and this will be Rowan Ruby. Rowan Ruby stacked up there from Mountain View. It's a first and goal. Now make it second and goal from about the 8-yard line after a 2-yard gain on first down there. So 2nd and 8, 13-0. Buffalo leading and looking to put another one in the end zone here, make it a 3-score game. It's going to be a pitch to the right side. Rowan Ruby has a couple defenders in front of him, and he loses yards there. He could not get around the edge that time. Looked like Mountain View was content to just sit back and let Rowan Ruby run right into him, and that's exactly what he did. As there are 3 defenders cutting off his path there, and it's going to be a loss of about 3 yards on second down. We'll set up 3rd and goal from about the 11.5-yard line here. So Mountain View could draw some momentum here if they're able to stop the Bison here on a 3rd and long. Back to pass, Glassick looking to the right side, and it is well over his wide receiver's head, looking towards the end zone on that one, and had just missed his receiver. Luckily for him, that ball was high because Ashton Schofield, already with 1 interception today, was sitting right underneath that route. The only place to throw that ball was high and just hope his wide receiver could jump up and make a play. Unfortunately for Buffalo, it was too high and went sailing through the back of the end zone. 4th and 11 here, or 4th and goal from the 11, and it's going to be a field goal attempt. Buffalo, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So the field goal good there from Buffalo. So Buffalo uses some field goal kicking of their own to get that one to go through. And would you believe it or not, Luke Glassick the kicker on that one. About a 28-yard field goal, and that puts it through. A 16-0 lead for Buffalo here with 6:36 to go in the half. We're going to keep it right here on KADQ 98.3 and mylocalradio.com. Thank you again for joining us. Mountain View, their toughest opponent they've played all season, and it certainly looks like it as of right now, as they have had some trouble on defense containing what is really mounted to a heavy running offense of Buffalo. Just to recap you on the scores in the first quarter with 3:11 to go, Rowan Ruby went 67 yards. A Luke Glassick kick made it 7-0. And with 8:58 to go in the second quarter, Rowan Ruby did it again with a 35-yard run, his second of the day. Glassick's kick on the extra point was blocked on that one, however, so it was 13-0. And we just had a 28-yard field goal soar through the uprights there. And with 6:36 to go in the first half, Mountain View will look to move the ball down the field, something that they haven't really had trouble with. It's just once they get it into that Buffalo side of the field, it's kind of when the field shrinks, they have had trouble being able to pound it into the end zone. So let's see if a long play is needed here for Mountain View, if they can capitalize. It's going to be a keeper to the left side, running through the hole, stiff-arming a defender, getting out to the 30 and the 40-yard line there. A huge gain on first down. And it was Kimball Madsen. Looked like he had a lot of green grass in front of him if he was able to break that one tackle. Attempted a stiff arm, was unable to push the defender completely away, but after breaking through the line of scrimmage and getting by a defender, Luke Glassick, he was not able to make the tackle. It is a first down. It's going to be a handoff up the middle, and Brigham Blumel tries to push off a defender coming towards him, and it is stopped at the line of scrimmage there. So Blumel picks himself up, and it is second down and about 10 here. $16-0 is the score. 2nd and 10 under 5:50 to play in this first half, as Madsen will take the snap once again, try to cut up towards the middle of the field, and he will get stopped after a gain of about 2 yards there. So I'll bring up a 3rd and long here from Mountain View. Might be 4-down territory for Brett Walk, and I say that maybe just because of the score as well. Being 16-0, he might feel like this is a possession that they need to score on, and it is 3rd and 8. Obviously, it depends on if they lose yards here. It might be a punting situation, but as it stands, Brett Walk, always a riverboat gambler, I would say maybe he would go for it. Madsen scrolling to his right, trying to find an open wide receiver. He does, and he throws it right by Ashton Schofield there. Had a man open, but Ashton Schofield kind of threw it behind him as he was scrolling to his right. Ashton was standing about the 48-yard line of Buffalo, and it went right by him. So a 4th and 8 here from their own side of the field, the 41-yard line, and Kimball Madsen is way back, usually signifying that he's going to punt this one away. Buffalo does have a return man deep, so let's see if any trickeration comes about here. Snap goes over the head of Kimball Madsen. Kimball Madsen scrambling around trying to pick it up, and he drops the ball. Buffalo dives on it. Ball still loose on the ground. Buffalo dives on it about the 10-yard line, and that's where Buffalo will take over. So Mountain View tried to punt it away, but the ball went clear over Kimball Madsen's head, the punter, and he tried to pick it up on the run. Maybe should have just fallen on it there, but as it stands, was not returned by Buffalo, but Buffalo will have tremendous field position. The ball sitting at the 10-yard line. Does look like they can get a first down just inside of the 1-yard line. Maybe by a hair they can get a first down here. But it is 1st and 10 at the 10.5-yard line, let's call it, in the I formation. It's going to be a handoff to Rowan Ruby. Rowan Ruby right up the middle. Sounds like a tongue twister. It probably is. And that's a gain of about, let's call it 3 yards there on first down. So a huge play here from Mountain View, a huge defensive series here from Mountain View as they will try their very best to keep Buffalo out of the end zone. Keep in mind, Buffalo did kick a field goal from the 11-yard line on their last possession, and they were able to convert that field goal. So we do have a player down on the field, able to trot off under his own power, it looks like. So looks like that was Rowan Ruby as he jogs to the sideline with his athletic trainer. He wanted to stay in the game, but obviously, since the trainers came out on the field and they blew the play dead, you do have to come out for at least a play. In the shotgun formation, this can be a toss to the right side. Milmine trying to get around the corner, sees the pylon, and he hits it. Touchdown, Buffalo. Buffalo right there, an 8-yard rush on 2nd down and 8. The toss to the right side just kind of went down a diagonal pass straight towards the end zone. Crept in the end zone right near that pylon. And Cody Milmine, quick enough to get there. Closing in on the play was Knutson, but not quick enough. And it is 22-0. So let's see if they, yes, after a momentary looked like they were going to maybe go for 2. Vlasic does take a couple steps back and get ready to kick the extra point. This one is up, and this one is good. Coming right through the middle on that one was Schofield, but could not get to it in time. And it is 23-0. All Buffalo Bison here in the first half of this 2A state football championship here at War Memorial Stadium. Once again, I'm Sean Bennett. Join us after this commercial break when Mountain View looks to kick it back in gear.
Hello all, Dr. Dog here. I want to talk to you about PepMinerals.com. By merging the highest quality veterinary grade ingredients with highly advanced mineral technology, PepMinerals.com produces the most innovative pet supplements on the market. The supplements focus on specific needs like hip and joint, digestive, and overall diet. You and I both know a healthy pet is a happy pet. Show your pets how much you care. Order them supplements today at PepMinerals.com.
Back here at War Memorial Stadium, where the Buffalo Bison lead this one 23-0 as the ball falls off its tee once again. Let's see if they have to bring somebody in to hold the ball down. Looks like they were going to try to prop this one up. Once again, I was out on the field before the game started, and it was very windy. Wind was swirling down on the field. Looks like the flags have maybe calmed a bit, but it still appears to be pretty windy down on the field. It is a very cloudy, overcast day, not sunny out, so as it stands, it's very frigid, very cold out on the field, and very dark. So the Mountain View Buffalo will try to move the ball down the field here. 4:16 to go. Nothing's been working for the Mountain View Buffalo as of so far. 4:16 to go. Some motion across the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be a quarterback keeper for Madsen. He faked the handoff and immediately stacked up there. Not able to gain any yards. Caleb Knutson was the man motioning across the quarterback. So 2nd and 9 here, under 4 minutes to play in half number 1. The Mountain View Buffalo trailing Buffalo 23-0. Back to pass is Madsen looking to his left. He's going to air this one out. Down the sideline, one-on-one coverage with the defensive back falls down, and it's complete to the 35-yard line where he is tackled there. And looks like the defensive back is down. He did fall down. It might have been a hamstring or a leg injury as he stayed down after he fell down on the coverage there. Kind of had to slow up at the last second as I look at the replay on the big board here. And he's I think he might have been tripped up over his own feet, maybe tripped up over the wide receiver's feet there, and he went down in a heap, and he is still on the field there in obvious displeasure. Cannot exactly see what number is on the field, so if I'm able to peek at the number, I'll get that to you. And it is Rowan Ruby. So Rowan Ruby, the defensive back there, a huge part of this Buffalo offense. Let's see if he is able to continue in this game, as he is able to walk off under his own power, but obviously he will be out for at least this play. And the clock starts up again here. 3:25, ball at the 36-yard line. Kimball Madsen with his second completion of the day, rather. A huge one down the left sideline. Looking to pass again. It's going to be a screen to the left side. Coming right down his throat was Dallas Lopez, a junior linebacker. And the screen pass was bounced to the running back and incomplete. So Kimball Madsen under pressure right there. Obviously on a screen, you're going to have some pressure towards the quarterback, but that one, Dallas Lopez, was a runaway train running right towards Kimball Madsen. He was not able to set his feet and get it out to his running back. Looked like he did a lot of blockers in front of him if he could have got it there. Madsen back to pass, looking to the left sideline. He's going to throw it, and it's going to be underthrown, but dropped on the sideline there by Buffalo. So the underthrow right there, Aaron Thiel, a senior linebacker, would have been an interesting play had he caught it because he was right on the sideline. But I think the sideline is what hampered that play. On the defensive end, at least, as Thiel was concentrating on his feet and tapping them in bounds, and he kind of forgot to catch the ball first. So as it stands, it is 3rd and 10 here. And Madsen will drop back to pass again. Looking across the middle of the field, he's got a wide receiver open, and it is underthrown and intercepted. Luke Glassick with the interception. He's cutting back towards the left side of the field, right in front of that Mountain View bench. He will be pushed out of bounds at about the 39-yard line of the Buffalo Bison. And Luke Glassick making plays on offense and defense here. There is a flag on the field at the 20-yard line, however, so we'll have to see how this plays out. Not exactly sure when that flag came in. And it is a block in the back, so I believe it's after the interception. Once again, another block in the back penalty after the interception. And that'll back the Bison up considerably here, as it is a spot foul, and then I believe a 10-15-yard penalty from that spot. So, streaking down the field on that one was Trevor Sweeney, the junior receiver, 5'8". Had him right along the seam, and if Madsen had that one back, maybe he throws a line drive instead of airing that one out, because by the time that ball was thrown and got to the area of Sweeney, 2 Bison defenders were able to converge on it and cut underneath the route. So we have pitched to the left side, running up the sideline, stiff-arming a defender before, I didn't see a call. I think he went out of bounds at the 31-yard line. The clock has stopped, so yes, he did go out of bounds there at the 31-yard line. A nice stiff arm on the run there. So the Buffalo Bison continue to keep that offense pounding here as Cody Millmine, the senior running back, has done some damage, as well as Rowan Ruby, who has 2 touchdowns on the day. Millmine has one of his own. In the I formation, 2:40 to go. Ball at their own 32-yard line. Fumbled snap. The ball is on the ground. It is loose, and I believe Glassock was able to dive on that one as the ball, once again off the snap, just kind of rolled out there, and this time smartly diving on the play. Let's see on the replay. Yeah, I believe it just hit the lineman's foot. I believe he snapped it into his own thigh or a calf, and the ball, because of that, died right behind the center, and Glassick wasted no time diving in there. Glassick in the I formation pitches it to the left side once again on the sideline before being tackled out of bounds there. It's going to be another first down gain, however, right in front of head coach Brent Walk, and Cody Milmine putting in work on this drive for the Buffalo Bison. 23-0 is the score. Buffalo has the advantage, and they had the ball with 1:57 to go. He did go out of bounds on that last play, so it will be another first down here in the I formation. Milmine way in the backfield. He's going to take a toss to the right side this time, and he's going to be tackled at the hash mark. And out of the pile comes Mountain View with the football. We'll have to see what the call is. He might have been called down, but Mountain View seemed to rip it right out of Milmine's hand, and out of the pile came a Mountain View defender with the football in his hand. There is a flag on the field, so the officials will deal with the flag first. It is a holding. I think Brent Walker is trying to signal, did we get the football? If obviously, if they got the football on the fumble, they're going to decline the penalty. It looks like referee is signaling no, that he was down. So Milmine able to get to the ground before that one, and a huge holding penalty there, backs him way up. So that one must have happened way behind the line of scrimmage, because this ball is marked at the 29-yard line of Buffalo. So the line to game, once again, is the Mountain View 47. The ball is at the Buffalo 29. So a second down and about a country mile here for Buffalo. Scrolling to the left side, Glassick comes in, and the ball is knocked out. But it rolls out of play there. You could see a huge windup from the Mountain View defender. Just took his arm and just kind of gator chomped that ball. Unfortunately for Mountain View, it did go right off of his leg and roll out of bounds right on that sideline. But certainly you can tell what Mountain View has started to do on that one, as a huge play there. That was actually Kimball Madsen, the quarterback, making that play. But on the last two plays, Mountain View has gone for the strip, gone for the ball, been successful both times. But one was ruled down, and that one was out of bounds. So be a toss to the left side, running up the sideline, got a defender in front of him, and he's gone. 40, 30, 20, 10, one defender to beat. He is pushed out inside the 10-yard line. Cody Milmine, a huge gain there on second in a country mile. And that one is inside the 10-yard line where he is pushed out of bounds. Another monstrous play for that Buffalo rushing offense. It's just pretty simple at this point for Buffalo in their offensive scheme so far. It's been a lot of pitch right, pitch left, and just kind of spread out that offense, spread out that defense, and get to the corner. If it's one-on-one coverage, they think that they can beat and get around a lot of that defense, and they have so far. They lead this one 23-0. So he had pitched to Milmine on the right side. He's tackled right at the hash marks. A late flag comes in. We'll have to see if he brought him down by a face mask, as it was first and goal here from about the 9-yard line. We'll have to wait on the penalty. 1:17 is what the clock reads. Mountain View will get the kick to start the second half, if that is any consolation for Brent Walk. Still have not made a signal on what the flag is, but they have backed the ball up 10 yards. It is a holding, so a holding penalty will get the ball to the 19-yard line, but I'm sure if you ask Buffalo, obviously, you never want a penalty in the red zone, but the way that offense has moved, giving them a little bit more space might not be the worst-case scenario for the Buffalo Bison, as they have gotten touchdowns on 67 35-yard rushes so far. And about I believe the last one was about a 8 or 9 yard rush, so first and goal from the 19-yard line. Throw to the right side to the corner of the end zone, and it is caught. Touchdown. Luke Glassick threw a fade route to the back of the end zone, and it is complete for another Buffalo touchdown. They're just running up the score in this one. Have yourself a day Luke Glassick, one-on-one coverage, fade to that back corner, that back pylon in the end zone. That was Aaron Thiel. I believe Thiel has come up with an interception in this game on defense as well. And it is 29-0, extra point pending. Snap is fumbled, and the ball is down. Glassick takes a hit there. Glassick, the kicker, and the kick is no good. So 29-0 as that kick never got off the ground. Ball was snapped. Glassick tried to pick it up and maybe do something with it, but immediately stacked up by 3 defenders there. And it is 29-0, not looking good for the Mountain View Buffalo. They will get the ball here with 2 timeouts and 57 ticks on the clock as Buffalo will be kicking off here. Every single kickoff from Buffalo so far has gone into the end zone. Would not expect to see anything different in this one yet. So if it is a touchback, the Mountain View Buffalo will have the ball at the 20-yard line. They do have a field goal kicker. They attempted 1 field goal today from Tiancum Picola, and that one had the distance. I believe it was 35 yards is what I think I remember it being 35 yards. And that kick had the distance. It just was wide left on a low liner towards this field goal post as well. Wind swirling a little bit, so we'll have to see. Maybe if there's no time on the clock, it might just be one of those desperation why not scenarios. But I would not be surprised if Brent Walk tries to get some points here. I think it might be an important possession, as they will get the possession to start the second half. They will get the kickoff. So this is potentially up to a 14-point possession. A 14-point swing here for Mountain View. If they can pound it into the end zone, if they can get this ball into the end zone and then get the ball back and score to open the second half, we will have ourselves a ball game. As of right now, however, the Buffalo Bison have controlled the first half and lead this one 23-0. Or 29-0, excuse me. 29-0 the score. And 5 wide receivers out for this first play here from Mountain View. Across the line of scrimmage comes a motion man, and that is stacked up. After a gain of about 2 yards, he ran into his own wide receiver. And Brigham Blumel not able to gain a lot there. Clock continues to run. No signal of a timeout from Brent Walk, so this might be just a concede moment here. It might be a concession as they are lined up, but everyone with their hands on their hips for Mountain View, just kind of looking towards the sideline. So no need to push it and give Buffalo a chance here, up 29-0. Madsen turns around, throws it to the right side, and Blumel drops it. Madsen scrambling to his left, just stopped, turned around, and tried to throw it back across the field to Brigham Blumel on a screen pass. Would have been interesting if that pass had been completed, because it looked like he had a couple blockers in front of him, maybe only a couple of Bison defenders in the area. He could have been still running, but unfortunately the trickeration not working there. 3rd and 9 here, and this is going to be a quarterback keeper from Madsen. Madsen's going to run up the left side. He's going to break through the line of scrimmage, get out to midfield, and with 10 seconds to go, a timeout is called. So Mountain View and head coach Brent Walk quickly calls a timeout there. Looked like they were just going to run the ball there and either give the ball back to Buffalo if Buffalo called a timeout, or run out the clock. But Kimball Madsen says not so fast. And he gets about 27 yards on that rush. So Kimball Madsen, his biggest play of the day, rushing the ball at least. The 27-yard game with 9 seconds on the clock here. Once again, thank you for joining us on mylocalradio.com and KADQ 98.3. That is your radio station out of Evanston, Wyoming. And we are here at War Memorial Field, or I am here at War Memorial Field in Laramie, Wyoming. And maybe an early start here for Buffalo that has benefited the Buffalo Bison so far. But Mountain View just seems to be a bit slow coming off the bus, slow waking up. So let's see if that second half is any different of a story. And of note, the flags on the field goal post and the American flag by the Giants scoreboard is now gusting straight backwards with Mountain View here. So if they attempted a long field goal, obviously they're out of range right now, but if they got it to maybe the 20, 30-yard line on this play and wanted a field goal, it looks like they have the wind at their backs, and this would aid in a field goal here. Once again, it is swirling wind, so hard to tell from any moment on how the wind will be. But it is 1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line for Mountain View. They still have a timeout left, so you can go anywhere on the field here. But they'll have to do it quickly. Brigham Blumel on a handoff. He tosses it back to Madsen, throws it to the 20-yard line, and incomplete there. So a flea flicker with 9 seconds to go in the half. Ball is thrown to about the 15-yard line, where 2 Mountain View players were and about 4 Buffalo Bison defenders. And it was nearly caught for a second, nearly intercepted. So 2 seconds to go, last play of the game. Madsen threw that one about 35 yards. Let's see if he can reach the end zone here. Ball just shy of midfield. Or let's see what the exact play call is with 2 seconds to go. Any play will be the end of the half here, barring a penalty. And back to pass is Madsen. Madsen winding up. He's going to throw it deep. Ashton Schofield at the 15-yard line. He's caught it, and he's down at the 10-yard line, but unfortunately for Mountain View, shy of the end zone is where he will lay, and that is the end of the half as Ashton Schofield, maybe padding the stats, padding the numbers there, will get the ball to the 10-yard line, but unfortunately the time has run out in the first half for Mountain View. Mountain View trots to their locker room a bit dejected as they trail 29-0. The Buffalo Bison having themselves a day in the first half here in Laramie. Buffalo 29, Mountain View 0. Join us after this commercial break for our first half halftime show and some more comments as we lead into the second half on KADQ 98.3 and mylocalradio.com.
Business cards are a powerful and inexpensive way to promote the goods and services you offer. You can design your own cards or have the professionals at Westar Printing design your business cards. Now with same-day and next-day turnaround on all business card printing, you don't have to wait. Get your business cards today. Professional quality, inexpensive prices, and quick turnaround. Visit Westar Printing, 243 7th Street in Evanston, across from the library. Westar Printing, 307-789-5202.
Some folks say that life can be measured in seasons. At Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet in Evanston, we have vehicles for every season. From new to experienced drivers, we understand that safety, affordability, and great mileage are always on the must-have list. So whether you're just starting out or it's time to expand your fleet, we've got every season covered. Auto Farm Castle Rock Chevrolet. Stop in today, 624 Front Street, Evanston. We're a different kind of dealer.
MyLocalRadio.com is Southwest Wyoming and Northeast Utah's top website and the best source for local area news, weather, sports, and community events. And that's not all. MyLocalRadio.com features thousands of photographs of Wyoming and Utah high school events, from speech and drama competitions to local events, sports and activities, and much more. Check it out today and see what MyLocalRadio.com has for you.
We know that when you think of Plains Tire in Evanston, you always think
The Tire Professionals.
Quality customer service.
They're friendly with great prices.
I really like Plains Tire in Evanston.
But did you also know that the team at Plains Tire offers oil changes, windshield wiper checks, and free alignment checks? That's right, free alignment checks. We don't want you to quit thinking all those great things when you hear Plains Tire. We just want you to add to the list. Plains Tire, the tire professionals. Stop in today, 157 Bear River Drive.
Bring your vehicle for service at Rocky Mountain Yeti and feel the difference. It's easy. Visit with one of the friendly service riders and then relax and enjoy hot waffles and ice cream. While you relax Yeti style, your vehicle will be worked on by our experienced mechanics. From regular maintenance to major repairs, we do it all. Have your service work done at Rocky Mountain Yeti in Evanston and feel the difference. Get Yeti'd today.
Ooh, yeah.
100 Wasatch Road in Evanston.
Hello, this is Dr. McKay Frankham. Something I've really enjoyed as a dentist over the past 20 years are the lasting friendships that I've formed with many of my patients. My staff is really great, and we try hard to make sure that every patient feels a warm welcome. It doesn't matter if it's your first visit or if you've been with us for years. Every patient is welcome and always appreciated. Our goal is to provide the best dental care possible at reasonable rates. Please call us today to schedule your appointment at 307-789-8910.
Go Red Devils!
Back here on KADQ 98.3 and MyLocalRadio.com. Once again, my name is Sean Bennett. Thank you for joining us here in our coverage of the 2A State Football Championship. And right now, if you're a Buffalo Bison fan, you're celebrating because the Buffalo Bison, after one half, lead this one 29-0. 0 points on the scoreboard for Mountain View. So something they certainly have not experienced this year, when their offense has just looked lackluster, for the lack of a better word, or phrasing here in that first half. Mountain View has moved the ball rather nicely into Bison territory several times, but once they've gotten the ball into Bison territory, it's either just been simple mistakes or just not enough of an offense to move the ball and sustain a drive and put it in the end zone. And unfortunately for the Buffaloes, it has come at their expense as the Bison have used several large plays in this game to their advantage so far. They lead this one 29-0. And right now on our Reese Auto Service halftime show, we will talk about some of those scores if you're just joining us. It's 29-0, Buffalo leading here on KADQ 98.3 and MyLocalRadio.com. They led off the scoring today in the first quarter with 3:11 on the clock. Rowan Ruby went the distance, scored from 67 yards out. Once again, 67 yards out. It was a two-play, 68-yard drive lasting only 50 seconds. That put the home team on the scoreboard, the Buffalo Bison, up 7-0, but they were not done. In the second quarter is where they did their damage, scoring 22 points in the second quarter on 3 touchdowns and a field goal. Rowan Ruby once again took off on the scoring here in the second quarter with 8:58 to go in the second quarter. Rowan Ruby took a pitch to the left side. He ran it, and he escaped through the defense for 35 yards and got into the end zone. Luke Glassak's kick, extra point, was blocked. So it was 13-0 after that drive. That was a 9-play, 80-yard drive, by the way. A 35-yard run from Rowan Ruby. His second 35-yard plus touchdown of the day. To that point, Luke Glassock, he said, hey, don't forget about me. After a 6-play, 21-yard drive, Luke Glassock kicked a 28-yard field goal through the uprights, and giving his team a 16-0 advantage with 6:36 to play. And the Buffalo Bison wasted no time getting the ball right back after that. Cody Milmine took the ball and went 7 yards into the end zone there with 4:16 left in that first half. Cody Milmine went the distance there, 7 yards on the run. He saw the pylon. It was just kind of a straight diagonal run after taking a pitch, and he found that right pylon on the far side of the field, and he was able to scamper into the end zone from that point. And it was 23-0. So the Buffalo feeling good at this point, but they said, hey, we're not done yet. Let's add to it, as Adam Thiel, an 18-yard pass from Luke Glassock's first passing touchdown of the day. Luke Glassock had just picked the extra point up after the snap was bad, and he tried to run around a little bit, but it was no good. The try was no good. So that made it 29-0. That is where we sit in the first half, after the first half, where the Mountain View Buffalo will have to come out of this half. They'll get the ball right away, and if they want to come back in this one or at least make it a game, they'll have to show that they still have some fight left in them. Because as of right now, it seems like the Buffalo Bison are the ones bucking back and forth and kicking the Mountain View players. An interesting note also on that, I believe it was the second to last drive for Buffalo. In that first half, it really did seem like Mountain View kind of changed their mentality in how they were tackling. Maybe it led to that long touchdown pass, that 18-yard touchdown pass from Aaron Thiel to from Luke Glassock to Aaron Thiel. But Mountain View really seemed to be going after the ball. It seemed like they were ball hunting at the end of that first half. There was a huge play from Kimball Madsen where he just gator chomped the ball, took a huge windup, almost like a softball player, and just came right down on the ball, knocked it right off of, I believe it was Milmine's hands, and down his leg. The ball did go out of play, so Mountain View was not able to recover it. But let's see if Mountain View really comes out in that second half more ball hawking than anything, and if they try to force a turnover. Once again, at 7,220 feet here in Laramie at War Memorial Stadium, crazy things can happen on this field in Mountain View. They're going to need to start their comeback right away. They're not going to have any time to waste, because especially now in the second half, as the time creeps down in that fourth quarter, especially Mountain View and especially Buffalo Bison, the Buffalo Bison will be in no rush to start that offense and move the ball. They'll be taking a lot of time off the clock. Their running offense is very potent, very powerful, so certainly nothing to be worried about there if you are the Mountain View Buffalo or the Buffalo Bison on that one. But as it stands right now, it's 29-0 here. About 4 minutes until kickoff of the second half, where Mountain View will get it. Let's see what they come out differently in the second half. Let's see if they can really just kind of turn the page and flip the script, if you will. And I'll just read down some stats, set the scene for you here in this first half. Buffalo, as far as the stats go, let me just point this out before going through all of the stats. Obviously, in the red zone conversions, red zone scores and conversions, that stat is the one stat really that just kind of tells the main story of the day. But the stats do not show a Buffalo dominating Mountain View. Mountain View still looks good on stats. It's just when you take a peek at that scoreboard and you see 29-0, that's going to be a yikes for me right there, because Mountain View has certainly struggled to put points up on the board, but they have not struggled to put some yards on the stat sheet and tally up some stats as well. So first downs, Mountain View had 9 in the first half. Buffalo had 11. So Buffalo, courtesy of those large those long touchdown runs. Obviously, you can't pick up a first down if you go 67 yards for a touchdown or a 35-yard touchdown run. So it might be a little bit of a deceiving stat, but Mountain View, just looking at the Mountain View perspective of that, they picked up 9 first downs in the first half. You're looking at that and you say, we're moving the ball, we're getting first downs. It's just what we're doing with those first downs has not been beneficial. We haven't really been able to pick up the first downs when we need them, especially in the red zone or past the Buffalo 30-yard line. And passing yards, only 87 for Mountain View. But if you look at Buffalo's only had 58 passing yards in this entire game. So as it stands, Mountain View obviously might need to pass more in that second half. You would expect more of a passing offense for Mountain View in the second half because they trail 29-0. But on the running yards and the running attempts is really what tells the story of that first half. 21 rushes for Mountain View for 123 yards in that first half. Not bad. That's, 6 yards a carry, about 6 yards a carry. And Buffalo had 25 rushes in the first half for a total of 309 yards. Once again, that was Milmine with 7 rushes for 192 yards. He did lose 10, so a gain of 182 yards in the first half. His longest was 73 yards. He averaged 26 yards per carry. That is insane to think about, with Cody Milmine averaging 26 yards a carry in the first half. I think it's pretty easy. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. If you're going to stop Buffalo in the second half, stop Cody Milmine. 26 yards a carry for Cody Milmine, 7 rushes, 182 yards, including that 73-yard run. It did not wind up in a touchdown, but he did run 73 yards. He got a 67-yard touchdown run, and also a 35-yard touchdown run was Rowan Ruby. So Rowan Ruby was 67-35. Milmine with a 73-yard rush, which set up a touchdown. And Rowan Ruby had 12 rushes in the first half for 136 yards. So that's an average of about 11.1 yards after a 3-yard loss. 133 yards in the first half. 2 touchdowns for Ruby, 1 touchdown for Cody Milmine. And as it stands right now, Mountain View has not been able to stop that containment from the outside. And it has cost them in that first half. And just going down the key numbers, Buffalo had 6 penalties in the first half. 6 penalties for 44 yards. So it's mainly about just converting those penalties and really using them if you're head coach Brent Walk. Something that they have not been able to do in that first half, was just use those penalties that Buffalo had and just kind of be able to push them back and stop them. I believe they scored one of those touchdown runs, or not. I don't think they scored on the play. It was a long run, but knocked out about the 9-yard line, I believe. It was on a 2nd and, I believe, 23, 24, a long rush there from Buffalo. So when you get Buffalo backed up in those scenarios, don't just think that they're going to throw the ball. If they do, they're simply just trying to get it to the corner, get around the corner, and really just turn up field and run down the field. Something that has been successful so far. So 6 penalties for 44 yards for Buffalo, not coming back to bite them. 2 penalties for 9 yards from Mountain View. 1 did cost them a drive because it backed them up way back. I believe a loss of 9 yards on that play. Made about 2nd and 19, and they just were not able to convert a first down after that. So possession time, Mountain View actually leads that 12 minutes and 17 seconds to 11 minutes and 43 seconds of Buffalo. And the third down conversions is really where the bread is buttered, or was buttered in the first half for Buffalo. 3 of 5 on conversions in the first half on third downs. 1 of 6 for Mountain View. So Mountain View 1 of 6 in the first half on those third down conversions. They have to get better here in this second half. We're going to take a quick commercial break on mylocalradio.com and KADQ, and we'll have kickoff of the second half. Buffalo leading this one 29-0.
Bring your vehicle for service at Rocky Mountain Yeti and feel the difference. It's easy. Visit with one of the friendly service riders and then relax and enjoy hot waffles and ice cream. While you relax Yeti style, your vehicle will be worked on by our experienced mechanics. From regular maintenance to major repairs, we do it all. Have your service work done at Rocky Mountain Yeti in Evanston and feel the difference. Get Yeti'd today.
Ooh, yeah.
100 Wasatch Road in Evanston.
Back here on KADQ 98.3 and mylocalradio.com. Once again, my name is Sean Bennett. Thank you for tuning in here to our live coverage of the 2A Football State Championship, where Mountain View is in a hole. They're hoping that it's not a well where they need to call for emergency services, and this is something that they can get out of on their own. They'll need some help, maybe some divine intervention. They trailed 29-0 in this one. And as head coach Brent Walk, never one to quit, never one to give up. It'll be interesting to see what he has up his sleeve, what certainly he had to say at halftime to his team, because he'll need a big inspirational message if he attempts to get his team on track here. So Mountain View and Buffalo on the field, just stretching out. About 1 minute on the clock. They did add a couple extra minutes there. So closing in on kickoff for the second half. As far as the defensive side goes for Mountain View, Ashton Schofield had 4 tackles on the day, 4 unassisted tackles, 3 assisted, meaning numerous defenders came in and helped them out. 7 tackles leads all defenders for Mountain View. Brigham Blumel had 6 tackles, as well as Hunter Gross. And Colby Reese, All-State lineman for the second straight year, had 5 in that first half. Hunter Gross with the sack, and Colby Reese got a half a sack as well. So as it stands right now, that's the defensive side of the ball, the defensive statistics there. And for Buffalo, very active Buffalo defense, Hiram Hatch has 9 tackles in that first half. He got 9 tackles, 8 assisted, 1 unassisted. Dawson Hatch got 4 unassisted, 2 assisted tackles for a total of 6. Luke Glassick, all over the field, had 5 tackles, as well as Nathan Swanson with 5 assisted tackles of his own. Kimball Madsen is 2 of 11, was 2 of 11 passing in that first half, and he will look to do better here in the second half. The second completion came at the buzzer when he threw a long pass down the field that was completed, but shy of the end zone. So certainly hoping for a better result as the sun peeks out here for the first time today. So the sun is out on the field, and Mountain View is hoping maybe that's an omen that there is sun, there is light ahead at the end of the tunnel, as they will get the ball with 12 minutes to go here to start the second half, and the shotgun formation is how they will start. Immediately taken, given up right up the middle, and a huge hole right up the middle on first down, the first play of the second half, and that's going to be Brigham Blumel, 16-yard gain. So Brigham Blumel, 16 yards on the first play. And immediately we have a player down on the field for Buffalo. So looks to be a cramp as a couple players immediately lift his legs up in the air and seem to be stretching the player down. Not sure exactly who it was. It was on the Buffalo defense, in on the tackle. So maybe just get some more hydration on the sideline. Important to stretch out before the start of the second half, and let's hope it's not a strain or a serious injury. Maybe just something where temporary pain. Trainers on the field working on the leg of the defender. And while they do that, we're going to take a short commercial break on KADQ 98.3 and mylocalradio.com.
MyLocalRadio.com is Southwest Wyoming and Northeast Utah's top website and the best source for local area news, weather, sports, and community events. And that's not all. MyLocalRadio.com features thousands of photographs of Wyoming and Utah high school events, from speech and drama competitions to local events, sports and activities, and much more. Check it out today and see what MyLocalRadio.com has for you.
That was Dawson Hatch down on the field. He was able to get off with some help, obvious limp, and Kimball Madsen back to pass. He scrambles up the middle after nothing being open, takes a helmet-to-helmet hit from a defensive player coming in there. That was number 3, Aaron Thiel, making contact. No penalty on the field, however, as Madsen was a runner at that point. But it is a 13-yard gain on first down, and it will get a first down. So back-to-back plays here to open the second half, and 2 first downs. Stop me if you've heard this before. That's how the first half started for Mountain View. This is going to be a quarterback handoff up the middle, and a gain of, looked like about 5, but Brigham Blumel kept those legs moving, and he'll gain about 7 yards. So Brigham Blumel, story of the season for him is keep those legs moving and make them bring you to the ground. He's gotten so many yards after contact, to the detriment of many defenses across Wyoming. Madsen back to pass, throws it to Blumel to the right, dodges a defender, tries to cut back towards the line to gain, and he is right at the marker. Let's see where the spot is, and ball is marked just inside the 41-yard line. That looks like where the line to gain is, so they have stopped the clock, and they might bring out a measurement. The ball is all the way on the other side of the field. Not claiming any bias, but usually in that instance, you'll see the referee maybe take a slight glance to the other side of the field and see where the marker is and kind of purposely mark the ball up inches ahead of where it needs to be. But this time, an honest spot, and they will bring the chains all the way out to the other side of the field to line this one up and measure. And blocked by the officials, so I cannot see the marker. But it is a first down, so Mountain View jumping up and down on their own sideline, as that one was marked right in front of their sideline. And it's 21. Once again, it's 29-0, but Mountain View, before they can score 29, they have to put up 6 or 7 first. So some optimism right now for Mountain View. 29-0 is the score, 10:39 to go, and the clock is moving once again, as it is a first down at the Buffalo 40-yard line. Madsen alone in the backfield will take the snap, throws it across the sideline to the right sideline, and incomplete there. Looked like Ashton Schofield had to do more defense than offense on that one, as the ball was a bit overthrown for the first time there, and Schofield was underneath the defensive back, and he just kind of had to poke at the defensive back, kind of poke and prod until that ball hit the ground and fell incomplete. So 2nd and 10 for the first time. Mountain View does not pick up a first down on their first play of the drive. And back to pass is Madsen. Madsen looking to his right, gets it complete. A lateral to Brigham Blumel after the completed catch, and Blumel escapes to the 20-yard line. So that is the trickeration that we have seen this season, as it was a completed pass, and the wide receiver, as he was being tackled, just turned around and flipped it right to Brigham Blumel. Brigham Blumel blasted through those blockers who were then tackling on the ground that wide receiver, and he was able to get about 5-10 more yards. So ball at the 21-yard line now, and direct snap to Blumel, and Blumel will be dragged down from behind. Gain of maybe a yard, yard and a half on first down there. And it is 2nd and about 9 here with 9:50 to go, and we have another Buffalo player on the ground. Buffalo, really just seeming like Buffalo did not take any time to stretch out and to warm up, because in the first series here of the second half, less than 3 minutes in, it's about the third Buffalo player that we have seen down due to cramping, or what looks to be cramping. So, obviously not going to put the blame on anyone but Coach Rob Hammond of Buffalo. Probably not happy seeing his players cramp up, and obviously think about player safety first, but it also takes your players off of the field, at least for a play. And this time, number 34, Hiram Hatch, the second time he has been down today. He will jog off the field, so he seems to be all right. But if you're Rob Hammond, and the officials especially, I'm not sure if you can keep on putting Hiram Hatch on the field if he's going to cramp up on nearly every play there. So we'll have to see how he is hydrated and if he comes back out on the field. Madsen, back to pass. Looking across the middle of the field, finds a wide receiver wide open and cut it down just inside of the 5-yard line there. And immediately down is Ashton Schofield. He took a huge hit after completing that one inside the 5-yard line. And he is rolling on the ground in obvious pain right at the goal line, as Brent Walk will jog out there and meet with his player and hope that everything is okay. Ashton Schofield caught the pass on a post route across the middle of the field. He caught it, and a defender went low and took out, looked like maybe just below the knees, and because of that, Ashton Schofield went head over heels. Looks like his head went banging pretty hard into that turf, which I can say from experience does feel like concrete at some times. So certainly a collegiate field such as War Memorial, probably better turf than maybe just a regular high school football field, but it still hurts. So I'm not saying that's exactly what the injury is for Ashton Schofield. I'm not going to diagnose him, never would do that as a broadcaster, but does not look like they're going low right now. It does not look like the coaches are looking at his lower body. I think it's going to be a head injury or a upper body injury, as he is still on his back, flat in the end zone. Not a pleasant scene here for anyone, as the Wyoming training staff has come out onto the field and are aiding in the diagnostics. Everyone on the field is silent here as Buffalo and Mountain View obviously worried for Ashton Schofield's health. And he is up off of the field, and he is limping on his right leg, or right knee rather. Yeah, he is not putting any pressure on his right foot, his right leg at all. A couple coaches come over and are guiding him to the sideline. No pressure being put on that right leg from Ashton Schofield. He is very, very hampered coming off the field, and that might be the last time we see Ashton Schofield on the field today. Obviously, we hope not, but Schofield, even when he is on the sideline, is not putting any weight on that foot. So, Brigham Blumel will take the snap here after Ashton Schofield checks out. And Brigham Blumel takes it. He's going to run to the left side, and he's in. Touchdown, Mountain View. So Mountain View gets in the end zone for the first time today. The scamper there, the 3-yard scamper for Brigham Blumel on a direct snap, went untouched and walked into the end zone on a 3-yard carry. And Mountain View is on the board for the first time today. Kimball Madsen was in the backfield with Brigham Blumel, but he kind of moved up towards the line of scrimmage right before the snap, and Blumel took the direct snap. They're going to go for 2 here, and Madsen underthrows the wide receiver in the end zone, and it is intercepted, going the opposite way, but tackled at the 20-yard line there. a good thing that they made the tackle, because that could have been returned the opposite way for 2 more points for Buffalo. So with 9:15 to go, that was a 2-minute, 45-second opening drive to the second half, and Mountain View is on the scoreboard for the first time today, trailing 29-6 on mylocalradio.com and KADQ 98.3.
You're in good hands when you choose Dr. Stosage and Dr. Buick at Wyoming Dental Specialties for dental implants and wisdom tooth extractions. They work with passion and focus. They use techniques and technologies that are modern and precise. With 2 decades of experience, their skills are highly specialized. If you need teeth extractions or dental implants placed, come see Dr. Stosage or Dr. Buick at Wyoming Dental Specialties, 50 Park Road, or call us at 307-789-9034.
Back here at War Memorial Stadium, where Mountain View has taken that 0 off the scoreboard, they changed it for a 6 as they got into the end zone. But more concerning is the health of Ashton Schofield. Ashton Schofield went off of the field on that last possession, and after completing a pass over the middle of the field, Ashton was hit very low, right around the knee area, and went toppling head over heels. And he is still being worked on the sideline, sitting on the bench right now. Looks like they are working on his lower body. So as I said, I'm not diagnosing any injuries, but Ashton Schofield was putting no pressure on that left foot, that left leg. And it's an onside kick from Mountain View. High bounce, and it is loose on the sideline, and that one goes, I believe, out of play. We'll have to see what the official call is here. I still have not seen a signal. He did put his hands together as if the ball did go out of bounds. A high bouncer from Tiancampacola, and that ball just kind of hung in the air. Looked like a Mountain View player was running up the sideline. Had a chance at it, but it was unfortunately out of play there. And I believe Buffalo will take over. Yes, Buffalo offense out on the field, and it is 29-6 here, Buffalo. So Buffalo offense takes over after an onside kick attempt failed. And that one is going to be a run to the left side and tackled after gain about 2 yards there on first down. So I actually talked with Tiancampacola before the game started. He was down on the field and I was over there, so I was asking him a few questions. And believe it or not, I actually brought up onside kicks, and I said, have you ever kicked one? Just because he was a soccer player, and I know that he hasn't played football a long time. And he said he's done them in practice. He had never done one in a game, but he had several different styles in what he wanted to do for those onside kicks. He said he has a high pooch punt kind of thing where he just kind of bounces it off the ground and tries to kick it straight up in the air and let the Mountain View players kind of get down the field and get in that area. He has a low liner, kind of a line drive, trying to almost peg a defender in that front row, that front line of the defense, and get out, get the ball to knock off of him. And then he also has that one, which he implemented on that one, where it's just kind of a roller on the ground, takes a high bounce straight up in the air, and lets his defense get behind it. And on that one, it was a successful onside kick in that it did what he was trying to accomplish. It's just a Buffalo defender at the last second was able to get his fingertip on it before a Mountain View defender could dive on it out of bounds. A huge penalty there on second down as we get back to live action on second down. A holding penalty draws the Buffalo Bison way back as the run was only about a 2-yard run on first down. But a penalty came in late. The holding backed him up on second down. So 2nd and 22. And that run gains him a gain of no yards on second down and brings up 3rd and 19. And Mountain View has a huge defensive play here. It's going to be a pitch to the right side. Looking to get to that corner. And brought down at the 45-yard line by Mountain View. Braden Walk was there, as well as I'm trying to figure out the number of that player who actually did make the tackle at the end. Yes, Brigham Blumel and Braden Walk came in, combined for that tackle, and Mountain View will get the ball back here as it is a 4th and 9 for the Buffalo Bison. Buffalo has the ball at their own 45-yard line. They do have a punter out on the field, but some looking over towards the sideline, and the ball is bounced towards the punter, nearly blocked, and that is a flag. And it is fumbled. The ball is fumbled on the return, returned by Buffalo, and the Buffalo Bison have the ball at the 10-yard line. So it was going to be a roughing the kicker penalty, would have given Buffalo a first down anyway, but the punt was muffed from Mountain View, and Buffalo picks up the punt at the 20, returns it to the 10-yard line, and when it rains, it pours here at War Memorial Stadium. The momentum was just turning around in the Buffalo favor, in the Mountain View Buffalo favor, and just like that, oh, how the tides have turned once again in this game. So Brigham Blumel with a 2-yard touchdown run. Looked like Mountain View was going to be able to get the ball back, but unfortunately for them, a roughing the kicker penalty would have given Buffalo a first down regardless, but unfortunately for them, the Mountain View Buffalo muffed the punt at the 18-yard line, cannot be returned on a muffed punt. So fortunately for Mountain View, Buffalo will take over at the 18, but unfortunately, they will take over at the 18. So certainly an interesting scenario here for Mountain View, as they got a defensive stop, and a muffed punt will give the ball at the 20-yard line, as the officials are still talking something over on a 20-yard line before Buffalo's offense comes back out on the field, and maybe it looks like they're going to be all set now as they let the play go here. And in the shotgun formation is Buffalo. This is going to be a handoff, a pitch toss to the right side, trying to get around that corner and not successful there. That was Rowan Ruby once again. Rowan Ruby averaging 11.1 yards in the first half. He has not been able to break one loose here in the second half. His team leads 29-6 on the scoreboard, and they have the ball at the 21-yard line. Mountain View was able to stop them on their last defensive play. Second and 12 here for Buffalo, as the fake handoff is going to be given to the left side. Around the line of scrimmage and out of bounds right at the 13-yard line. So a big gain there on second down of about 9 yards will bring up a third down here, a 3rd and 3. Call it 3rd and 4 as the ball is at the 14-yard line. So 3rd and 4 here for Buffalo. Mountain View will try to force another 3 and out here in this second half. This one might be in field goal range for Luke Glassick once again. So we'll have to see how he does, or what the play is here on 3rd and 4. Motion across the line of scrimmage. Just going to be a handoff right up the middle and stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss of a yard there as Mountain View comes out of it once again. And once again, Mountain View defender comes out of the pile with the ball. They're going to keep this one with Buffalo. But so Buffalo did kick a field goal, a 28-yard field goal earlier in this contest. So it looks like they will line up and attempt to kick it once again. I believe that was Connor Brown who came out of the pile with the football from Mountain View, by the way. So Luke Glassick back to kick once again. This kick is up. It looks to be wide right. And it is no good. It had the distance, but it went wide right. So Mountain View does get the stop that they were looking for. Unfortunately for them, it does run some time off the clock. Time, a very important factor right here with 5:34 to go. So 5:34 to go. Mountain View taking over on their second offensive possession of the half. They did score on the first one, so if Mountain View can score here, it will make it a 2-possession game. Or excuse me, if they score here and they get an extra point or a 2-point conversion, it will be a 2-possession game as they trail by 23 right now. And the shotgun formation, Mountain View will start. Direct snap taken by Blumel. Blumel cuts around the 30, 35, and pushed out of bounds there. Looks like he was tackled well out of bounds there, but no flag, or at least I do not see a flag on the field there. And it will be a first down for Mountain View at the 38-yard line. So the 38-yard line is where the Mountain View Buffalo have the ball after a big run on first down there. Under 5.5 to play in this second half, in this third quarter of the second half. Back to pass, Kimball Madsen with pressure coming on his left, and he spikes it right into the chest of a defender. And I think if the defender was paying attention, maybe expecting it, the defensive lineman Hunter Pope saw that ball go right off of his numbers, right off the chest. Kimball Madsen had a free runner running right towards the quarterback, so he just kind of turned and threw wildly. And Hunter Pope was in the backfield as well, and he just swatted the ball down, kind of took one off the chest and just body bumped it out of play. Back to pass, Madsen looking to his left. He's going to throw it left. It's one-on-one coverage, and it is complete at the 35-yard line. And I believe that is Braden Walk. Yes, Braden Walk with a huge reception there. As he goes to the ground at the 35-yard line, he had to wait for that one. The defender, who was kind of running and realized maybe a second too late that the ball was underthrown, had to cut back towards the line of scrimmage, and it was complete by the time he got there. So ball at the 35-yard line of Buffalo right now. And this is going to be a handoff up to the left side. Brigham Blumel breaks through. 20, 15, 10, 5, and he's down at the 5-yard line. Brigham Blumel blasting through the line of scrimmage there. And he is down just outside of the 5-yard line with under 5 minutes to play. The Mountain View offense that we have been waiting for, looking to make this one a game. Trailing 29-0 at halftime. They have rallied here. They scored 6 on their opening possession, their second possession of the second half. They're trying to put up 6 more. It's going to be a direct snap to Blumel, and Blumel will gain about 2 yards. They did mark him down at the 7 there, so now he is at the 5-yard line after a 2-yard gain on first down. We'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. Mountain View went 1 of 2 so far in the red zone. They did miss a field goal earlier in the game. And another Buffalo player is down. Buffalo certainly struggling with their health today, especially in the second half. It's about the 4th or 5th time that a player has been down due to cramping. So hope that everyone is okay from Buffalo, but they do have water jugs. They do have Gatorade on their sidelines, so hopefully they will be drinking some of that in. We don't have to worry about this for the entire game because second half has slowed down substantially. And with 4:32 to go, Mountain View looking towards their sideline. What play they will call once they are able and willing to get the play going. So a 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line here. Players off the field and seems to be okay, so more cramping issues. It's going to be a quarterback option to the right side, and it goes beyond the running back, Brigham Blumel, and it hits the turf. Brigham Blumel dives on it at the 11-yard line, so a loss of 6 yards on 2nd and goal from the 5. And now it is 3rd and goal from the 12. A 7-yard loss on 2nd and goal from the 5. Probably 4-down territory here for the Buffalo, for Mountain View Buffalo. And in the shotgun formation goes Madsen, looking to his left. He's going to throw a fade to the back of the end zone. He overthrows a wide-open Braden Walk. Braden Walk had plenty of room in the end zone, and Kimball Madsen just flat-out missed him. Kimball Madsen I think if he had held the ball maybe for a half a second longer, he would have seen that the defender fell down guarding Braden Walk, and Braden Walk had half of the end zone to himself. But unfortunately for Mountain View, the ball falls incomplete in the end zone, and it's 29-6, and it's a 4th and goal from the 12-yard line. So Mountain View's offense still out on the field. In the shotgun formation goes Madsen and Blumel. Madsen back to pass, and a whistle's blown. Let's see what the whistles were. And a timeout, Mountain View. So I was not paying attention to the play clock in the corner of the end zone. Not sure if the play clock was running out or maybe Brent Walk just didn't like what he saw, but he called the timeout right as the ball was being snapped. And it will be a 4th and goal from the 12-yard line here for Mountain View. Trailing 29-6. They're going to need to score on this one to make this one a bit more interesting here. As Mountain View still trailing here by 23, but they have a chance to cut this lead even further and make it a 2-possession game. As following this is the 1A 11-man football championship. That is scheduled to kick off at 1 p.m. Bighorn and Cokeville in that one. So if you're interested in that, make your way down to Laramie and take in the action. I'll be headed back home after this one to Evanston, as Mountain View, they're hoping that they'll go home with some trophy, some hardware on their bus. It's 4th and 12 here, 29-6, 4th and goal from the 12. Shotgun formation, Brigham Blumel and Kimball Madsen. Motion across the line of scrimmage, that was number 4. And this is going to be a pass. Madsen looking to throw left. And it's in the end zone. Touchdown, Mountain View. Touchdown, Mountain View on a 4th and goal from the 12. An excellently drawn up play. And Braden Walk finds it at the beginning of the end zone, right on the goal line. Is able to come back towards the ball and catch it into the end zone for a touchdown. So a 12-yard touchdown pass from Kimball Madsen. Had plenty of time. Madsen had all day to throw in one-on-one coverage. A linebacker kind of leaking in that area of where Braden Walk was just a hair too late. And Walk with a touchdown reception. Going for 2 is Mountain View. Looking to throw a screen pass to the left side. Brigham Blumel, and Brigham Blumel catches it, but comes up short. Just shy of the end zone there. A good tackle from Buffalo on the outside. And they pulled Brigham Blumel down just shy, inches shy of that goal line for that 2-point conversion. So, interesting to see what the scenario here is for head coach Brett Walk, because it is a 29-12 game. Had he kicked an extra point there with Tiancum Picola, his freshman soccer player kicker, it would have been a 16-point game in a two-possession game. Obviously, he thought maybe he could get it on that point. Tiancum Picola did miss a kick earlier, but had plenty of distance on this end of the field. Just went wide left. So I'm not sure if Tiancum Picola, maybe they thought he just would not be able to make that extra point. I'm not exactly sure what the scenario is, but as it stands, Mountain View went for 2, did not get it. And with 3:46 to go in the third quarter, they trail by 17. So they're going to need 3 more scores here to tighten the score here and tie it up or take the lead. 29-12, Buffalo leading, but they have not scored here in the third quarter. They will get the ball back for the third time. They got it back, or the second time rather, as they went off 3 and out. I guess it is technically the third time. They did go 3 and out. They punted, but a muffed punt from Mountain View had Buffalo Bison keeping the possession, and they attempted a field goal after being stopped on a 3 and out there and missed the field goal. And it is still 29-12. So another onside kick here from Mountain View, and this one a high pooch punt style goes right into the hands of a Buffalo Bison defender. That was number 10, Dakota Lopez. Mentioned Dallas Lopez earlier in the game. Dakota Lopez gets a mention here as he catches this onside kick at about the 37-yard line. So one of those longer form onside kicks. Once again, I talked with Tian Kumpokola before the game started, and he said that he had several different styles to kicking these, and that was one of them where he just kind of pooched it up in the air and hoped that his team could run down there and kind of push that receiver out of the way before he was able to get to it. It's going to be a fake handoff. Give to the fullback straight up the middle for no gain. Hiram Hatch seems to have been healed from his cramping issues in the second half as he gets a carry there. Listed as a running back, but Hiram Hatch is 6'1", 180 pounds, and he looks closer to 200 pounds, so I'd call him more of a fullback style than a running back, but they don't have any fullbacks listed, so I think it's just a courtesy to all the running backs that they list them as such. Three minutes and counting here. 2nd and 10 for the Buffalo Bison in the shotgun formation, and immediately coach is trotting out towards the center of the field. It's going to be a timeout, so Buffalo takes the timeout with 2:58 on the clock here in the third quarter. A 2nd and 10. This will be a crucial possession to determining the winner of today's game, as the Bison have a 17-point lead, but if they go 3 and out here, if they cannot score, and they give the ball back to Mountain View, you do not want the Mountain View Buffalo to feel like they have a chance to win this game, simply because the Mountain View Buffalo are one of those teams. They're not undefeated on the year. They are 9-1, but they have won 9 in a row. So if you give them a chance to feel like they deserve to be in this game, they can win. That is a dangerous mentality for anyone to share. So we'll have to see if Mountain View can get a stop here on defense and get that offense back out on the field. Good news, by the way, Ashton Schofield is back out on the field for this possession. So Ashton Schofield looked to be injured. I believe it was his right knee, leg, had a limp earlier. He is back out on the field playing defense. So Ashton Schofield at least healthy enough to play, which is very good news for the Mountain View Buffalo. Bison back to throw to the right side. It's going to be a wide receiver screen, and immediately brought down by a host of tacklers is the wide receiver. I believe that was Cody Milmine on the outside. Gain of no yards, maybe even a loss of a half a yard there. And the Mountain View defense all turning towards their sideline, towards their fans, trying to pump the crowd up. Raising their hands up and down, trying to jump up and down and get the momentum swinging here. So Mountain View, with 2:25 to play and counting, the Bison have a 3rd and 11 here at their own 36. It's going to be a toss to the right side, trying to get around that outside. Ruby not going to get there on this one. Rowan Ruby not able to get around the corner. He gained about 4 yards there on 3rd down, but that's going to set up 4th and long here. About 4th and 7, and out comes the punting unit for the Buffalo Bison. And let's see who returns this punt. The last one was muffed from Mountain View, so let's see if they just decide to fair catch this punt or just let it go and have the Buffalo Bison down it. This snap is rolled back to the punter. No one even close to him this time. As remember last time they did get a roughing the kicker penalty because a defender went after the punt, did not get it, and he did not stop. He just ran right through the punter. So I think there's pretty clear instruction from Brett Walk. Do not touch the punter. We do not need to give them a free 1st down. There's a flag on the field. This one on the near side, right about midfield. And it's an illegal formation on Buffalo. Brett Walk turns around to his coaches, tries to see if what he wants to do with this penalty. The punt did land at about the 20-yard line, took a Mountain View bounce back towards the 30-yard line and rolled before being downed by the Bison with 1:29 to go at the 30-yard line. I believe they can move the ball post play. Like count it off from where the ball was downed. But we'll have to see. We're going to walk out towards the numbers to try to determine. Trying to shout, maybe get the official's attention. He wants to know something. Not sure if he's necessarily pleased. It was an illegal formation on the Bison. But they have backed the ball up to the 22. So, not exactly sure what. If it is an illegal formation, I believe the punt was down at the 30-yard line. So, I'm not sure why it's back near the Mountain View 20, but that's where Mountain View will take over. Kimball Madsen back to snap, takes the snap, goes over the middle of the field, and it is caught. A wide receiver went down. I believe that was Braden Walk. Yes, Braden Walk coming up with some huge catches here in the second half for the Mountain View Buffalo, as he had to go down to the ground to get that one at the 42-yard line. Able to make the catch as he went to the ground was Braden Walk. And a huge first down there for Kimball Madsen and the Mountain View Buffalo. Just kind of broke past his defender. This one's going to be a handoff to Blumel. Blumel cuts to the right side, tries to get across the hash mark. He does, and that is a gain of about 8 yards there. So Mountain View's offense moving the ball here in the second half. They have scored twice, went for 2 both times, and failed both times. So that's why it's only 12. As I said, I'm not sure if Tien Campacola doesn't have enough trust from head coach. And so there's going to be a throw across the middle of the field, caught and stacked up immediately. A huge catch there, but a first down for Mountain View. Mountain View is moving the ball at will here in the second half. That one was number 28, Caleb Knudsen, on the catch, as he was immediately hit, but he held on to the ball at the Buffalo 32. It's going to be a handoff to Blumel right up the middle. Blumel still chugging along. He'll gain about a yard and a half on first down. So with 30 seconds to go and counting here in the third quarter, let's see if Mountain View can run at least one more play here. 18 seconds to go, and they do get the snap off. Madsen's going to drop back to pass to the right side. He gets it complete to Braden Walk right at the line to gain. I'm not sure if he was tackled out of bounds or not. It appears he was not. They're going to run the clock here, as the clock will run out in the third quarter. It all depends on the actually, there's a stop with 1 second to go. It's going to be dependent on the spot here for a first down. It is a first down, so Mountain View will take over. As it doesn't look like there's enough time, they probably will run this clock, and that is how the third quarter will end. Mountain View trailing 29-12, but moving the ball again. They will have a first down at the Buffalo Bison 21-yard line when we come back on KADQ 98.3 and mylocalradio.com.
If you want your truck to really catch the eye, have the professionals at Plains Tire in Evanston install a custom lift kit with new tires and wheels. We've got a huge selection to choose from, so no matter what your style is, we've got the tires and wheels to make you smile. The way your truck looks reflects on you. Get the reflection you want with a lift kit, new tires, and wheels from Plains Tire in Evanston, the tire professionals. 157 Bear River Drive. Stop in today.
Dr. Dog, the other day I was at the dog park and ran into Keegan, the Irish setter from up the road. When we smelled hello, I was surprised because he smelled like delicious roasted duck. When I asked if he'd been hunting, he said nein, he had been to see you.
Yes, Mr. Hans German Shepherd, I'm recommending Canine Superfood Advance from PetMinerals.com for all my canine patients. The powder mixes with your dog food to create a delicious duck-flavored gravy. Order your Superfood Advance from PetMinerals.com today.
Whatever was said in the locker room at halftime has worked for Mountain View. They trailed 29-0 at half. It is 29-12 after 3 quarters, and Mountain View has the ball at the Bison 21-yard line a 1st and 10 here. They'll need to score at least 17 in this quarter if they want to be back-to-back 2A state champions in the state of Wyoming. So looking over to get the play after seeing how the defense is lined up. Kimball Madsen in the backfield with Brigham Blumel. Direct snap to Blumel. He's going to take it to the right side. He's going to cross the 15 and be stopped there. So right at the 15 is where he will be marked. So gain about 6 yards on 1st down, and the clock will run here. So an important factor here, Mountain View is going to need at least 3 possessions in this quarter, this being the first, and they're going to need to score on all of them and then stop the Bison whenever they can. And that's going to be a run up the middle, and that one will be dependent on the spot. Right at the marker. Let's see where it is marked, and it looks like, yes, they will move the chains now. Slow delay to move the chains there, but it is a 1st down. So 1st down at the 11-yard line, just inside the 11, is where Mountain View has the ball. Kimball Madsen in the backfield once again in the shotgun. He will take it, option read. He pitches left to Blumel. Blumel cuts it right up the middle of the field. Blumel needs an extra push to get in. He's right at the goal line. He falls into the end zone. No call officially made yet as the clock continues to run. And they're going to mark him short. I don't know if it's any consolation, but he picked up a 1st down on that run. The ball wasn't at the 11, so they could pick up a 1st down. They picked up a 1st down on that 1st down carry. And Brigham Blumel will take the direct snap. He's going to try to dive for the end zone, and he's going to be marked short again. So a direct snap to Brigham Blumel, who followed Madsen in, and Madsen tried to make a path for him, but a defender dove in after he broke through the line of scrimmage, and no gain there. So a 10:40 and clock still moving here. Mountain View is 1 yard away, looking to pound this one into the end zone. Just 1 yard shy on 2nd and goal here. Mountain View seems to be confused on what the play call is, and the clock has stopped, so whatever the play call was, it is good now. So I'll clear up the confusion after this play. Another direct snap to Brigham Blumel. Brigham Blumel, he's going to pound his way into the end zone. He's got it this time. He falls into the end zone. Touchdown, Mountain View Buffaloes. And this one just a little bit closer here. It's 29-18. Mountain View trailing by 11. They have gone for 2 after every score here, even though they do have a field goal kicker. Tiancum Picola, a freshman, did attempt a regular field goal, not an extra point earlier in the game. He missed, not because of distance, just wide left. But looks like they're going to go for 2 again. So down by 11, they're going to try to make this a 9-point game. Madsen takes the snap. He's throwing it left and out of the reach of his receiver, cutting across the goal line there, and it's incomplete. So 29-18 with 10:29 to go. So the confusion before that touchdown run, I was able to figure it out. They had not given Brigham Blumel a 1st down on that long, about 10-yard carry. So Brigham Blumel was just inside of, or outside, depending on how you look at it. It was just outside that 1st down marker, so it was technically a 2nd and 1 run when Blumel took a direct snap trying to get into the end zone. He didn't get into the end zone, but he was just shy, but it did give him a 1st down. So that touchdown run came on a 1st down carry. I hope that makes sense to you. But Brigham Blumel from 1 yard out took the direct snap, and he was able to find his way into the end zone on a dive. And it's 29-18. So an 11-point game. That is an important number, by the way, because if the Buffalo were to score a field goal or something along those lines here on this drive or in the game, that would make it a 14-point game, a 2-possession game by 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points, something that Mountain View has not kicked today. So we'll have to see what the strategy is, especially if they're down by 14, if Mountain View were to kick extra points or try to go for the win and go for 2-point conversions. Tiancum Picola has kicked onside kicks the last 2 times he's done it. Let's see if he goes for lucky time number 3 here. And this one falls off of the tee, so he run up there, just a Nice little practice attempt there, and that gets the Buffalo coaches well onto the field here. They're really directing their team. They have nobody beyond the 30-yard line now, as, I don't know, I guess they were not expecting an onside kick, even though the last 2 kicks have been onside kicks. And now it seems they are expecting an onside kick because everyone has moved up. Let's see what Mountain View decides to do here. Tianka Picola, he's going to kick this one long. Ball is landed at the 5-yard line and rolls into the end zone. So Picola, nice try there. Once again, no one back deep for the Buffalo Bison, but unfortunately, he kicked that one a little bit too far. On those, you would rather the ball land at maybe the 15-yard line, take a roll towards the end zone, but not go into the end zone, because the end zone, it's a touchback. If it's just shy of the end zone, the Bison have to field it, have to get down there first, field it, and then try to turn up field. So, interesting attempt there, but not successful. And it's 29-18, ball at the 20-yard line. That's where the Bison will take over. It's going to be a handoff going left. That is Rowan Ruby, excuse me. And that's a gain of about 5 yards on first down. So he'll get out to the 25-yard line. 10:15 on the clock here. It's a 2-possession game, an 11-point game. If you were listening, watching in the first half on mylocalradio.com or KADQ 98.3, and you just tuned in, maybe checking in on the score, you're going to want to listen to this one. There's 10 minutes to go, and it's an 11-point game. Buffalo has not scored in the second half. Mountain View has put up 18. It's going to be a toss to the left side. Ruby, and he is going to be tackled on the far sideline. It will be interesting to see the spot here. Kind of blocked by defenders and referees from my vantage point. But there is a flag on the field as the pile divulges. So if this is a penalty on Buffalo, on the Bison, this will be a huge penalty, as it was 2nd and 5. And it's a face mask on Mountain View, a killer penalty there. Not sure if it would have been a first down. Looks like maybe they would have been just shy and it would have been a 3rd down, but a face mask penalty on the tackle will move this one to the... should be about the 40-yard line. Actually, the 35. So, was a spot foul there, and 10-yard penalty gets it to the 35. So, Mountain View defense trying to pump themselves up, trying to get the crowd into it. They trail by 11 on this one. And the Buffalo Bison have a first down at the 35-yard line. In the shotgun formation, this is going to be a handoff left side. Rowan Ruby, and he's stacked up after a gain of 1 yard. Huge tackle there, and out of the pile comes a Mountain View defender. Very, very happy, as you would expect, is Hunter Gross. So Mountain View trying to get well, it wouldn't be a 3 and out since they did get that first down, but trying to force a turnover or get the ball back here off of a punt. And it's 29-18. This can be a toss to the right side this time, and immediately stacked up after a gain of maybe 1 yard on second down. We'll bring up a 3rd and long. So there have been no qualms about it, what Buffalo is trying to do here in the second half, really in the first half as well, but this has allowed Mountain View to stack the box, put 9-10 men right up at the line of scrimmage, and really just go after the running backs. Something that they maybe necessarily weren't able to do, weren't willing to do in the first half, but they have sold out on the run, and so far they have not gone bankrupt. As the Buffalo Bison are in the I formation, it's going to be a handoff left side, trying to cut back, will cut backwards, and pushed out of bounds there for a loss. Cody Milmine pushed out of bounds. That will stop the clock and force a 4th down. A double error there for the Buffalo Bison. As the clock will be stopped momentarily as they reset here. And there's 8:20 to go, and now it's a 4th down. Milmine tried to get all the way around the corner on the outside, on the left side on the run, but in doing so, he had to run backwards because some of his own offensive linemen were pushed into the backfield. So on that one, he ran the wrong direction. This punt lands at the 28. It's going to take a little bit of a Buffalo roll out to the 26-yard line. So with 8:12 to go, Mountain View trailing by 11 in this one. with a chance to make it a 3-point game on this possession, only on mylocalradio.com and KADQ 98.3. What a second half this has been. Tale of two halves. Mountain View non-existent in the first half, trend 29-0. And in the second half, that Buffalo offense has been non-existent as they have not scored. Back to pass, Madsen looking right up the sideline. He's got a man, and it is incomplete as a defensive back, or actually a safety, had to cut underneath that one, looking to intercept it. As streaking down the sideline was an open defender. I believe that was Ashton Schofield. Streaking down the sideline there, the far sideline, right in front of that Buffalo Bison sideline. And the safety had to knock it away. Had the safety not been able to get in there and knock it away, it might have been a touchdown. He had a lot of green grass in front of him. Madsen back to pass, looking to his left now, and he's going to throw it. Braden Walk catches it right about the 35-yard line, and he's pushed out of bounds just shy. It looked like he had the first down, but then he had to come back for the ball, and he lost a couple yards after that. So it'll be 3rd and 1 here. Certainly 4-down territory with 8 minutes to play, down by 11 for Mountain View. I'd be willing to bet my bottom dollar this would be a quick slant pass or a run. I'd lean more towards the running option here. With 8:01 on the clock, ball at their own 35. Need to get to the 36.5, 37. It's going to be a direct snap to Blumel. Blumel is going to take it up the left side, and that's going to be a first down. Gain of 3 on 3rd and 1. And a first down for the Mountain View Buffalo as they stop the clock to move the chains with 7:57 on the clock. Mountain View's offense looking good here in the second half. Don't look now, but Kimball Madsen is 10 of 22 passing. Actually 11 for 23 after the last completion for almost 200 yards. Madsen's going to throw to his left. Braden Walk catches it. Defender is slacking off on the coverage there. Maybe if Braden Walk had turned around, he would have realized he had some room to run, but he immediately steps out of bounds at the 48-yard line, just shy of the marker. So he had room to turn and kind of turn upfield and at least get the first down, but he was just worried about getting out of bounds after that one. It's going to be a handoff to Brigham Blumel. He jumps over a defender, leaps over a diving defender right at the line of scrimmage, and because of that, he gains about 15, and it's out to the 41-yard line of the Buffalo Bison. So Mountain View in this offense has been working to its fullest potential here, in a timeout for the Buffalo Bison and the Mountain View offense, and the Mountain View cheering section, a very large cheering section, albeit on the near side here, is up on their feet. Everyone going crazy as Mountain View is moving the ball here with 7:39 to go. 7:39 on the clock. It's a 1st and 10 at the Bison 41-yard line. A timeout there from the Bison. They have 1 remaining in this half. So Mountain View, the message probably from Brett Walk, or should be, I guess you could say, should be just simple, plain and simple. Go out there and play like your season depends on it. Play like you want to be a state champion for the 2nd time in a row. Some freshmen, some younger guys, maybe the first time here in Laramie at War Memorial Stadium playing on this field. And certainly for those returners, especially some of those seniors that they do have, this will be an interesting finish. 29-18 is the score. Mountain View with the ball at the Bison 41-yard line. Blumel switches position next to Kimball Madsen. Looks like it's going to be an option, if I had to guess. It's going to be a handoff to Blumel. Blumel's going to run to the left side, and that one will be stacked up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that play. The only reason I said that was going to be an option was because Brigham Blumel was lined up about 5 yards to the right of Kimball Madsen and almost staggered a little bit back. So I had thought that he was going to take the ball and run and have Blumel behind him, but albeit for not. It's going to be a throw down the left sideline. Braden Walk streaking towards the end zone, and that is incomplete, just out of the hands, just out of the reach of Braden Walk there. It was one-on-one coverage. Safety help came over late, but the safety was beat on the route as well. The throw went into the end zone, and Walk was just about at the goal line, so a couple yards out of the reach there, and this brings up a big third down. So a 3rd and 10 from the Bison 41-yard line, probably 4-down territory with 7:10 on the clock. Madsen is alone in the backfield, 3 to his right, 2 to his left, wide receivers. Madsen back to pass, is pressured, and he is stacked up, but it gets out of it, and he throws it across the middle of the field, and it is intercepted. At the 35-yard line, the Buffalo Bison come up with it. An interception at the most inopportune time for Kimball Madsen as he takes off his arm guard and throws it towards the sideline. Clearly not impressed there. On the outside, breaking through the line of scrimmage was a blitzing defender. Hunter Gross on the outside was in charge of covering that, and Madsen was hit by the guy on the outside, but he was able to stay up, and Hunter Gross was able to keep him upright, but then Madsen just kind of rushed the throw unnecessarily. I think because he was hit in the backfield, he saw that open runner. He just threw the ball wildly across the middle of the field and was intercepted. This would be a toss to the left side. Getting to the outside is Ruby. Ruby slides to the ground, making sure not to go out of bounds here, so he's probably talked to about that from his coach. He did step out of bounds last time on a 3rd down. This time he slid on the ground to make sure that he was in bounds. Once again, just like in college. In high school, if you hit the ground, you are down. So once he slides and touches the ground, it is ruled dead. So a gain of about 3 yards there on 1st down. Bring up 2nd and 7 here for the Buffalo Bison, looking to ice this game with 6.5 to play. In the I formation, 1 receiver at the top, 1 receiver at the bottom. They've ran this formation a lot, using a lot of motion. No motion on this one, however, and Ruby's going to take this one to the right side. Not able to be tackled in the backfield, and because of it, he's going to break across midfield, get to the 48-yard line. A Mountain View defender had him in the backfield, but could not get him. Rowan Ruby just too quick on the outside, and for the first time in the second half, at least, it appears that Rowan Ruby had a step on the defender. And Mountain View knows that they need to make a play here or make a stop quickly. Trailing by 2 scores with 6 minutes and counting. Buffalo Bison are make sure to bleed every second out of this clock that they can. They have not scored in the second half, but they haven't needed to. After 29 in the first half has given them a 29-18 advantage. It's going to be a run from Ruby right up the middle. And that's going to be a gain of about 6 yards. On 1st down, Colby Reese in on the stop there. Bring up 2nd and about 5.5, 6 yards. Or 5.5 to 5 yards. 5:15 on the clock as the Bison get back on the ball at the line of scrimmage in the I formation once again. Would not be surprised if this one goes back to Rowan Ruby. It's going to be a handoff actually to Millmine, cutting across the left side. Does get around the corner, and he is stacked up and pushed past the line to gain and another 1st down. As Mountain View, for the 2nd time in this drive, have had him in the backfield. Looked like they had Millmine this time stacked up in the backfield, but again, an elusive Millmine able to scoot through and get past the line to gain for a 1st down. But there is a flag. And it is on Mountain View, so a face mask after that 1st down. This one looks to be trouble here for Mountain View as the Buffalo Bison are in field goal range as this one is marched all the way up to the 21-yard line. So they gave up a 1st down, could not tackle him in the backfield, and then because of that, it was a face mask penalty, which gave the Bison a huge gain there, and the ball's all the way at the 22-yard line. So 22-yard line, 4:45 in counting here in this second half, the 4th quarter. Bison trying to wind this one out. Mountain View's coming down on the blitz, and Buffalo runs it up the gut to the right sideline. 10-5, end zone, touchdown, Buffalo Bison. And that might just do it, as number 8, Rowan Ruby, celebrates in the end zone. And it is 35-18, and once again, it is a 17-point game. A 3-score game for the Buffalo Bison. And that might just do it with 4:29 on the clock. Mountain View is blitzing from the outside, blitzing from the left side, and the Bison ran it right up the gut. Because of that outside blitz, the inside, those linebackers were pushed up, and once he crossed that line of scrimmage, once he passed those linebackers, it was a straight path to the end zone, and it is not looking good for Mountain View's back-to-back title hopes as they trail 36-18. The extra point is up and good, by the way. So it is 36-18 here on MyLocalRadio.com and KADQ 98.3. Join us after this commercial break.
My name is Dr. Micah Pullins. I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Evanston Regional Hospital. I perform total hip, total knee, and total shoulder replacement. The huge majority of patients of mine that have undergone total joint replacement have been dealing with pain and disability for many years. After joint replacement and recovery, patients are back to doing the activities that they want to do.
So Mountain View here, trailing 36-18. That could be the dagger, as the Buffalo Bison sure hope so. Buffalo Bison will kick this one away, and this one actually does not go into the end zone for the first time today. We'll roll to the 5-yard line, picked up by Mountain View, looking to return it to the left side. Ashton Schofield, he'll cut up to the 30, 35, 40. There is a kicker in front of him, and he is forced out of bounds just outside the 45-yard line right there. So a big return there. Maybe some upside to Mountain View as they're not ready to concede this one yet. So Mountain View trailing 36-18 with 4:20 on the clock. Madsen back to pass, going to the left, and it is intercepted. Undercutting the route there is number 8. Who else for the Buffalo Bison today but Rowan Ruby, who on that out route on the sideline undercut the route. Pretty easy for him as it was going to Braden Walk. Looked like about 10, 15 yards down the field, and Rowan Ruby just sitting on the route there, was not playing press coverage, was able to just run straight up and in stride, pick it off, and it's intercepted there. So a killer on that one, 36-18. The Buffalo Bison have the ball. Mountain View does have 2 timeouts, but as it stands, that Buffalo Bison running offense, barring a turnover, looks to have sealed this one with an interception after that touchdown on the last play. Bad snap there. And the ball goes about 5 yards in the backfield, but the Bison are able to recover it. So that will actually be a loss of about 6 there. As it was a handoff. It was not a bad snap. The handoff did get off, and running back seemed to be fumbling the ball as he was running, and then he eventually just dropped the ball. Thought it was because of the snap, but no, the running back did have the ball in his possession and just simply dropped the ball at the end there, and he was able to dive on it. So a Mountain View timeout, and there's 4:05 on the clock. And with 4:05 on the clock, one more timeout for Mountain View left in this game. In the I formation, some motion across the line of scrimmage and a handoff right up the gut Throws for about a couple yards, tries to get back that big loss on first down, and that is a 2nd and 12. Makes it a 3rd and 12 now. So Mountain View will call it a timeout with 4:01 to play. And that is their final timeout of the game here. Here on KADQ 98.3, it has been a pleasure to call Mountain View and Lyman football this season. We thank each and every one of our sponsors for this season, our advertisers. Please go visit them. Please go, if you have any car issues, please go to any of our car-based advertisers. If you have to go to the hospital, Lord forbid, make sure you go visit Evanston Regional. We have plenty of sponsors, plenty of advertisers, too many to thank all at once. But if you have any need, please go visit our advertisers and spend the money needed at their establishments. They're helping us out. They're helping the community out. You can help the community out by helping us out as well. It's going to be a run to the right side. Trying to get around the corner, and they do, but it's only a gain of about 6 yards there on 3rd down. We'll bring up 4th and about 7 or 8 here for the Buffalo Bison with 3:45 and counting down. No chance for Mountain View to stop the clock. And let's see if the Bison kick the ball. Ball is at the Mountain View 37.5-yard line. No real formation out on the field. They're still kind of in a huddle, so it's tough to see what the intended play will be here for the Buffalo Bison. Looks like they're content to just let this one run down all the way to 0 on the play clock and call a timeout. That's what they will do. So with 3:14 to play, they will call that timeout. Actually, they did not call a timeout. They're just going to take the 5-yard delay of game penalty. And after the delay of game, it will be 4th and 12. 4th and about 11. So they are going to punt here from the Mountain View 42.5-yard line. Punt is off and away, and right in the middle of the field, no one there to recover it for Mountain View. The Bison will let it roll. This one sits directly on the 20-yard line. And down with 3:02 on the clock. Mountain View is going to get it back. Down 3 possessions here. They're going to need some Laramie magic, some War Memorial magic, if they want to pull off what would be probably the most miraculous comeback, or one of the more miraculous comebacks certainly in state playoff history. Maybe one of those Sports Center highlights that everyone will talk about. 3:02 on the clock. Mountain View with the ball at the 20-yard line. Kimball Madsen coming off back-to-back interceptions will try to move the offense down the field. He'll throw it to his left and immediately stacked up after making the catch there. That one's got to hurt. But Brigham Blumel is able to hold on to it, maybe to their detriment there as the clock continues to run. It's only a gain of about 3 yards there, so clock will run as we approach 2.5 minutes to play here. Back to snap is Madsen. Madsen looking to his left, pump fakes, throws it down the left sideline. Braden Walk is there, and it's just out of the reach of Braden Walk. Might have been out of bounds irregardless, but right on that sideline, it's incomplete. And with 2:27 to play, those Mountain View Buffalo players might be a bit dejected on the sideline, but any score will help the outcome of this one. With 2:27 to go, you cannot quit if you are Mountain View. Back to snap. Madsen back to pass. He's going to be a screen pass to Blumel on the left side. Blumel is going to lower his helmet and take a big booming hit there from Aaron Thiel. That's not the first time we have mentioned his name today. Aaron Thiel has lowered the boom on several occasions today, and he did on that one. No gain on that 3rd down play, and it brings up 4th and 6. Madsen in the backfield, looking to pass. Over the middle of the field, it's intercepted in a wide open path to the end zone. Actually, they're cut across the middle of the field and be tackled just outside the 10-yard line there. Looked like he had an open path to the end zone, but he kind of cut the wrong direction. And an interception on 4th and 6. And the Bison returning to the 11-yard line. And with 1:54 to go, it is all but over here as Kimball Madsen, about a 3-step drop, just kind of throw it, staring down one receiver the entire way. That allowed a linebacker to just kind of step right in front of that pass and take it the other way. 36-18. Head coach Rob Hammond will have achieved his goal of a 2A state championship for the first time in a long time. Buffalo has dropped down to 2A to play football this year, and it has paid off as they are 2 minutes away from a state championship in their first year of eligibility in the 2A classification. A lot of people predicted this state title matchup before the season started. Everyone was thinking that the Mountain View Buffalo and the Bison would wind up here in Laramie. Sure enough, that's how it played out. Both teams won the division, the East and the West. East went to Buffalo, West went to Mountain View, and after a tight second half, the story of the day from Mountain View is just going to be that first half. They trailed 29-0. They scored 18 in the second half unanswered before the Bison were able to get one into the end zone just a few minutes ago. So a 36-18 score. Had that score not been so large, maybe if it was even 21-0 or something along those lines, Mountain View, this would be a different ball game. But as it stood, 29 points and a half is tough to overcome, and it just came up a little bit shy. The interception from Kimball Madsen with about 5 minutes to go really killed the momentum they had, and the Bison are looking to run out the clock here, ball at the 3-yard line. In the I formation, see if they run a play or just kneel it, and this will be a run up the middle, so they're trying to score again, and they do score. Gets it into the end zone there. Brent Walk, you can kind of tell from up here in the press box, he is not pleased. With 30 seconds to go, Mountain View had no timeouts. Clock was running, and the Buffalo Bison score a touchdown. So 42-18, this will make it just a bit more of a seeming like a rout, which it was in the first half, but was not in the second half. This was an 11-point game at one point before those last points. Jumping through the middle of the line there and not being able to get it. I believe that was Kimball Madsen who came all the way through and just whiffed on the block there. And 43-18, the kick is up, the kick is good. So it's 43-18. 25 points sits that lead. It was 11 before these two touchdowns to ice the game have given it to the Buffalo Bison. They're on their sideline celebrating. A great season for the Buffalo Bison. A great season for the Mountain View Buffalo. Do not get me wrong. I'm not diminishing anything that you achieved this season. Just to get to Laramie is a feat in itself. The Mountain View really just ran through the 2A conference. The one team that they did not beat in the 2A conference was this Buffalo Bison team, but no one from the 2A conference will have beaten Buffalo this entire year. Glen Rock did almost beat Buffalo earlier in the year, but a last-second touchdown from the Bison won that game. So they will move on to 10-1 and be state champions for the first time at the Class 2A championship. As the kickoff is ready to go here, and it is up. And this one will roll into the end zone. So a touchback with 31 seconds to play. 1st and 10 Mountain View with 30 seconds to play. Let's see if Brent Walk puts pedal to the metal and just tries to score now that Buffalo scored as well, or he'll just concede this one, run out the clock, and take the long bus ride home and think about what could have been. It is still Madsen in the backfield. Blumel is back there as well. 31 seconds to go. Ball at the Mountain View 20-yard line here. 43-18, the Buffalo Bison 30 seconds away from a state title victory here in Laramie. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. Blumel is going to take it. Gain of about 1 yard. And what might be a final play of the season. Braden Walk on the sideline looks over to his coach. And they will shake hands and meet at midfield. And this one is over. Mountain View falls in the state title game, 43-18. The Buffalo Bison, a strong first half and a strong finish. The second and fourth quarter is what won the state title for the Buffalo Bison. They win 43-18 here in Laramie as the clocks has hit 0, and the Buffalo Bison are your 2A state champions out of the state of Wyoming. The interesting handshakes across the board here as the Buffalo Bison in jubilation after winning their first state title in the Class 2A in their first year of eligibility after dropping down from 3A a year ago. This is their first year of 2A football, and it has paid off. They are state champions as both teams will meet at midfield and shake hands. 43, the score for the Buffalo Bison. 18, the score for the Mountain View Buffalo. And that's how both teams' season will end. Mountain View's season ends at 9-2 record. The Buffalo Bison finish at an astounding 10-1 record and a state title victory in Laramie. Certainly, head coach Brent Walk will rebound with a group of seniors coming in next year, including his son Braden Walk and Kimball Madsen, and be ready to compete for that 2A state title. Again, if they make it next year, it'll be the third time in a row that they make it, hoping for maybe a better result as Buffalo, with a large group of seniors on their team, will graduate most of them. A lot of juniors on their team, though. Expect the Buffalo Bison to be back here in 2019. So that'll wrap up our 2018 football coverage here from Laramie, where the Mountain View Buffalo fall in the state title game. 43-18 is the final score. Mountain View, a valiant effort, cut the deficit all the way down to 11, but could not get over the hump there after a bad first half. Really did them in. And 43-18 is your final score from Laramie. Once again, I'm Sean Bennett for the final time here in this football season. I am signing off. Buffalo is your 2A state champions in the football classification in Wyoming.